Hey, and welcome back, everybody. This is your 5 o'clock update, although I'm still waiting from the Hurricane Center to update their map. This is the reason why I put a 5-minute delay before this stuff, because sometimes their maps can get delayed a little bit. I do have the latest coordinates, but we're still waiting for an updated map from the Hurricane Center, which I'll keep doing the refresh on here to see if it's kind of changed much here. I doubt it'll change very much, but welcome to the extended version of this. So if you're kind of new and you're kind of getting into this stuff, we are a small channel. So there's some things that you're going to have to do if you're going to watch our coverage here for the next several hours, is we're going to kind of watch this system and see if we're going to see any significant changes. Okay, first, you need to share if you can. I appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel and give a like, a thumbs up. And the reason why we have to do that, in order for the YouTube algorithm to pick us up, we got to have activity in order to go ahead and keep the audience, because the average turnaround on YouTube is about 4 or 5 minutes roughly, and then you got a new audience. And the only way to do that, I need y'all's help, because I don't have the big audience like some of the other guys out there in the YouTube universe, so I ask you for your help. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the latest coordinates. At 22.5 north, 86.6 west, moving north at 12. The pressure's down a couple of millibars, down to 978 right now. And max winds have come up 5 miles per hour at 85 miles per hour. So let me go in here. I want to double check. Again, I keep going in here and I'm refreshing to see if this map is finally getting organized here. So I'm going to keep hitting my refresh button. And is that 4? Yes, that's 4 o'clock. There we go. We got the new one finally in. Just got to give it a split second here. And again, it hasn't really changed much there at all. In fact, it's just kind of riding right along that line right now, which is interesting to me, because when I was looking at some of these intermediate forecasts that have been kind of coming in, and oh, hey, thank you for the donation there. And by the way, any donations to the channel is highly appreciative. I won't even tell you how much money I spend every month on all the little, Adobe After Effects and subscriptions that I do. So I do appreciate the donation. Every little bit helps, that's for sure. I don't make a ton of money on my channel to help pay for everything there. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get into all this. We've got a lot to talk about. If you guys got any questions or anything, please post it down below. I see Yolanda. I don't speak Spanish there, darling. I wish I did. I would be able to respond to you, but I don't. I know that we're finally getting the storm to move away from Mexico here. I want to take a look at a couple of observations, some things I want to kind of point out to you here as we're looking at what's been going on here. I'm going to go in close to the regional, close-in infrared imagery here on this storm. And it's definitely been fighting some dry air intrusions. Some dry air is getting into the system here just a little bit. And we're starting to see some new blossom of the higher cloud tops starting to go in. So I think it's some indications that it's starting to re-intensify a little bit as it's pulling away there from the Yucatan Peninsula. But the dry air has definitely kept the strengthening at bay. We're going to see what happens here overnight. Again, traditionally with tropical systems, it's the nighttime when we start seeing the things begin to get a little bit crazier. The daytime heating goes away. It's easier for the system to kind of support yourself in. So Carlanda here is on Facebook. She's watching on Facebook, and she's asking what to take about for the Columbus area. Right now, again, for Columbus, I still think the ballpark here, you're on the left side of the system. I still think 50 to 60 mile per hour winds are probably going to be the best the best winds you're going to see. The real winds, at least almost all the model data is well off toward the east, but you're still going to see some gusty winds, still enough to possibly bring in some power outages and some very heavy rains. This is a very unique situation, folks. I cannot stress this enough, in the sense that in all my years of forecasting, I was chatting with a friend of mine, another fellow meteorologist, and his history is a lot longer than mine. He has never seen anything like this, and I have not either. This is a very unique situation. We've got we've got a hurricane, we got a front, we got upper level low, all kind of merging into south. It's going to be a mess. The winds are going to extend longer than they typically do. The rainfall amounts are going to be higher than we traditionally would see. And thank you for the new subscriber there. I want to thank, every time I get a subscriber in there, I'm going to stop and thank him every time. That's just me. I like to appreciate this. We're going to try to get to 5,000. We're going to try, but it's going to be about, I know we'll get to 4,500, but 5,000 where I'd love to get to before the end of the month. But I've never seen anything like this, okay? It's definitely been one of those things. All right, so right now we've got a pretty good band, outer band here, kind of coming into the Key West area. I was looking at that live camera here just a little bit, a little while ago, but yeah, there's the pan down there. They're getting some squally weather down there in the Key West. I don't think they're going to have to worry about any real hurricane gusts, but they're going to get some tropical storm gusts. This is a pretty large system, folks. It's a pretty decent sized system. The hurricane force winds, tropical storm force winds go at about 250 miles from the center. Hurricane force winds only about 25 right now. But I think that'll grow as the storm gets better organized and changed. But you can see some of the squally weather there in Key West, a little breezy. And when the squalls come in, that's when the heavier rains, well, obviously will come into that area as well. I do want to look at the visible imagery here before we lose the sun here. Let me get that up for you here. As we're going to be losing the sunlight, and we're starting to get something that, again, we've had a little bit of that dry area. It kind of was circulating into the system. It does appear, though, as the last few images, that is starting to wane out a bit. We're starting to see that wane a little bit. And so as it's now moving away from the Yucatan Peninsula, we're in that warm water. We're starting to go into the nighttime hours. This is when I expect over the next 12 hours from 5 o'clock now to 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, where we're going to see substantial gain in strength. It would not shock me by tomorrow morning where we got 85 mile per hour winds. We're up to maybe 100 to 105 mile per hour winds to see a 20 mile per hour wind increase here through the overnight hours. Now, hey, as you guys are coming through the channel and stuff, and I got to remind myself just to remind you that please, before you head on out, leave me a thumbs up. Again, subscribe to the channel if you can help me out there. I got to do that every 5 to 6 minutes or my audience goes flat. It's just one of those things, unfortunately. I want to switch over to the radar. You know, we do have some other things that we have to talk about here tonight. We actually do have some severe weather that's actually in the cards here too tonight. So I'm going to try to do a little bit of everything, kind of watching what's going on up here toward the north. I mean, there's been some pretty heavy rain. Heck, there's even a tornado warning up here of all places, up here in West Virginia. There's a couple of them up here right now. But yeah, I'm not really going to be putting that off too bad. I'm really going to focus in here on the southeast. Here's another thing I want to point out here across the south. We've got some very steady, good rains already falling across Georgia and Alabama now. This is not related to the tropical system at all. The rains there in Columbus and Alabama and coming up that way into Georgia, not related to this system at all. This is a frontal system that's coming out ahead of this stuff. And that's what's going to leave that's going to get the grounds already wet before even the main rain threat even gets there. We do have numerous watches and warnings up here. Again, let me go ahead and zoom in here on this area here a little bit closer. So tropical storm watches are up before the entire state of Georgia. Got tropical storm warnings, hurricane warnings across all southwest Georgia. You've got high wind advisories, watches up there across Tennessee and even into Virginia. I mean, this thing's going to really scoot a lot further inland than you traditionally see with any normal tropical system. This is far from a normal tropical system. Because of the front, because of the upper low, which we're going to get into. We're going to show you the model data and stuff on that as well as we go through. The 2 tornado warnings were up in Virginia, up in West Virginia, and I don't know if I want to dedicate a lot of coverage on severe weather on that when I'm really talking about the tropics tonight. That's what everybody's want to talk about here. But that is up to not really, again. That's the frontal system that's up there toward the north right now. Hey, thanks there, Teresa. Appreciate you checking us out, and glad I could answer your question there. Not a problem. Like I said, I can pull up anybody's questions from the Facebook as well as the YouTube side. It's a little chat program called Chat Ninja. I really do like it. It's a great program to have. All right, so the thing here is, what can you expect? What are we expecting with this? What is the worst that we expect out of the storm? I made this special graphic today. I think it came out pretty good. And it's talking about the flooding, the wind, the tornadoes, the storm surge, and power outages. Storm surge is going to be tremendous along the Gulf Coast. I mean, just absolutely off the chart. And I can show you that real quick here. As the forecast here officially in that purple zone is 12 to 18 feet. Very high storm surge. The curvature of the coast really allows the water to funnel in there. And that is probably the worst area along the entire Gulf Coast where you can get some storm surges like this, and then go in quite a bit of ways there. Now, obviously, we're talking about high winds. That would include getting into Columbus. That would include getting into areas there. A lot of the state of Georgia. We're going to show you the models here on that here in a second as well. Power outages will be tremendous, not just for Florida and Georgia. I think this thing goes in because as it starts to merge in with that energy from the upper low into Tennessee, North Carolina, Kentucky. I think we get power outages going a lot further inland, like I said, than you would think. Georgia, I think, is ground zero. Georgia's probably going to have millions, and I say millions, without power with this thing as this thing comes in. It is historic, and it's definitely going to be a potential monster situation with this storm. Okay, absolutely cannot downplay that one darn bit. All right, let's talk about the severe component of this. Again, we got the tornado risks on this. I do want to share this again as we're looking at the outlook here for tomorrow. It goes from 12Z tomorrow into 12Z the next day. And you see in the enhanced area there for severe weather, this includes Savannah, Hilton Head Island, Hinesville, Georgia, Statesboro, and Brunswick. This has not changed. This has been the latest on that as well. Teresa said, just received an emergency alert on my phone. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of those. You're going to get a lot of those, and that's going to happen because of the fact that we got this system coming in. You're going to see that. Yeah, Michael, probably a good idea to pray. And maybe some praying has actually paid off today because the storm has kind of held its own, hasn't really gone crazy for today with its strength. But I think tonight, now that it's moved away from the Yucatan and we've lost the daytime heating, I think that's going to go down. Again, the tornado risk here running about 10% there along the coastal areas. Anywhere to the right of that center of circulation, that's where that's going to be a problem. Trina here on Facebook, she's watching from Phoenix City, and she's asking what to expect there in Phoenix City. Well, I could tell you there in Phoenix City, and I just noticed I got to make a couple of corrections before tomorrow with my overlays on some of these graphics, but I'll take care of that a little bit later. You're going to be seeing some gusty winds, some heavy rains. Right now, I'd say in the Phoenix City area, maybe wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. We'll see. But again, wherever that core of the system goes, which is going to be key, you really got to be on the right side. If this thing would have to do a major wobble to left where the center of circulation is more on the Alabama side than on the Georgia side for it to be that. And right now, I don't see that happening. I think it's going to get the center or what's left of the eye will get pretty close to Columbus. But I'd say anywhere between Columbus and Macon is where that center is going to track up there as it goes through that part of Georgia. So waiting for the Hurricane Hunter aircraft. They're out there in the area. Let me update this again. Sometimes it will go down when I'm trying to do a rehab on this. So just kind of see, yeah, they're out there circulating right now. So the Hurricane Hunter aircraft are out there. They'll do the drop sounds. They'll do the pattern right now. They're just getting started on here. So we'll get an idea of what the pressure is doing overall and what the trend is with this storm as it's now getting out into those very warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico. And they are pretty warm, I'm telling you. Boy, we're talking where it's sitting at right there is 30 degrees Celsius. So you're talking about 85, 86 degree water temperature. Very warm indeed for the system to come on in there and take the potential there for growth. So I'm checking out here. I'm watching these latest moves. I do have some of this is the 18Z guidance here. I can show you, I can share some of this with you. Let's go check these out here. Again, no major changes on all of the hurricane, the ATCF guidance here. Really kind of riding it right there near the Big Bend, Florida Big Bend area, and then kind of riding there and then making that turn to the left. That's when that upper level low is going to grab it and kind of pull it back there a little bit. It puts Atlanta, Georgia in the right front quadrant on this thing, not only for heavy rains, because you got that frontal influence there that's going to help there. You're also looking at tornado threat, obviously, and the rainfall amounts up in the Northeast Georgia mountains could be well over 12 inches. It is going to be just a monster of a storm for the state of Georgia. One for the history books for sure, the way things are looking. Some of the model guidance on 18Z goes really bonkers with this. There's several, 4 models here. There's actually 4 here taking this thing up to category 4. I don't think that's likely because I'm just not seeing it in what it's been behaving here for today, but there's a few of them here on the 18Z that want to take it to Cat 4. Right? Officially, it's saying 125 mile per hour winds is what it's going to be seeing right there. So we'll see how this kind of traverses here as we go through the next 12 hours. Again, the 12 hours is going to be key. That is going to be the big ticket item here for the system. So let's go look at the models here. I'm going to switch over to that other map here. All right, so we're going to look here at this is the 18Z North American model. Now, this model is doing something. I was wondering if the Hurricane Center was going to adjust it back to the right. I think they got tired of doing that because every model run, it was going left, right, left, right, left, right. It gets a little aggravating when that gets going like that, you know, just a little crazy. So this model here, this is the North American model, 18Z, and it is clearly to the right here. You know, shows a pressure here down to, is it 952? So that's a significant hurricane. That's a very strong Cat 3. Making landfall there, but definitely to the right, and it knows that it's over toward the center and eastern portion of Georgia. That's significant for you folks in Columbus. If the NAM was to hold true, that means the influence on you would be less. The left side of the hurricane is always the weakest. Not going to have the strongest winds. Darn sure on the tornado threat. Still going to have the heavy rain threat, and the reason why for that is because you got a hurricane interacting with a cold front, upper level low. I think you're going to have rains in other places that you don't traditionally get. So that's where this is going to be moving on inland across Georgia, and boy, it's just going to be really, really bad there with the winds as it comes on through. But look at the interaction here. I mean, again, these are the two things. This is what makes this thing so unique. Again, you got the low pressure, which is our hurricane. This is our low pressure over here. This is our upper level system, and these two are going to basically merge into one entity as it wraps up. The upper low is going to basically suck it right into itself as you kind of take this out to fruition. Watch what happens. It just gets wrapped up in there. So it just gets wrapped up in there, and it's gone. But because of that front and because of that upper low, it's really going to be one that's going to drop some serious precipitation as that moves on in. Let's look here. This is the European model. This is the 18. Let me go to 18Z. This is 12. Let's go to 18Z. I want to go to the 18Z not in yet. 18Z is not in yet. Let me hold off on that one. I want to wait and see the 18Z on that one before we go jumping into the end of that one. All right, so that is, let's go to the winds here. Let's look at the wind profile here. This is the NAM again. And because, again, if this stays further to the east as this is doing, those in Columbus and those on the Facebook side watching, the impact's going to be less. But, again, the official track doesn't take it this far east, just for right now. So we'll see if it's a trend with the 0Z, the overnight runs, to see if that changes much any. Again, I think what's driving this is going to be the placement of where the hurricane is and where the low is in the natural wobbles as that you know, because think of a hurricane like a spinning top. It's a spinning top, and you get those natural wobbles, and those wobbles can be, you know, 20, 30 miles, and those where this thing lines up is going to be key. But for right now, what this thing does is driving a lot of the heavier winds across East Georgia, Northeast Georgia, up my way. I'm expecting hurricane force winds up this way. And look at these heavy winds. They stay up well up into Tennessee, into Kentucky. I mean, up into Virginia. And that's something you just don't see. And the reason why is you're getting the energy that's transferring from the hurricane to that upper low, and it's dragging it well north. And even, heck, you're getting 60-mile-per-hour wind chill getting into Ohio. This thing's going to impact millions of people, folks. I mean, it is definitely one that's going to be one that something we've never seen before. And these rainfall amounts are just absolutely through the roof. Let me shut that down. And it's, you know, this purple area here on the European, this is actually close to 20 inches showing up there, right there at where Georgia, North Carolina. And all the major tributaries, the rivers, the Savannah River, the Chattahoochee River there in Georgia, all these entities are going to come up, and they're going to come up fast. A tremendous amount of rain. They're getting the rain out there now, and they're going to get some more when this is thrown on top of there. So it's going to be one of those nights, that's for sure, to watch tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's going to be a long night for a lot of people, I think. So what's interesting is I know state of Georgia's got a state of emergency. Florida's got a state of emergency. I'm sure several other states are doing the same thing. And we're going to see, you know, this thing really spin up big time. Schools have actually closed for tomorrow for a lot of places in Atlanta for Thursday, which I think was a little bit too much there, to say the least. But anyway, hey, if you guys are passing on through the channel, my name is Greg. I am known as your personal weatherman. If you've never been to the channel before, I appreciate you paying me a visit. If you could do me a favor, help us out. Give me a thumbs up. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't subscribed, please consider it. Put it down in there. And if you've got a question on Facebook or over on the YouTube side, again, please subscribe to the channel. Help us out here on the channel. And I do appreciate you guys helping us out. So we're going to be doing this coverage here over the next few hours. So it's like, okay, so what am I looking for? what am I watching for? So I'm looking right now, for example, I'm looking at the infrared imagery here on this storm. And basically, we're trying to figure out, okay, what's going to happen with this thing overnight. Now, you notice those cloud tops, those whites and those purples in there, those are colder cloud tops. Those means the storms that are intensifying. Throughout the day today, we had that earlier this morning. It kind of looked like it was settling down a little bit, but now that the center's getting away, it's getting in those open waters, it's starting to show those thunderstorms going up. So that'll be watching for. I'm also going to watch that core to see if it kind of reestablishes itself where we get a true, what we call a central dense overcast, which is where the core of the thunderstorms are right over that center of circulation, so that they can do that. So somebody's asked me to post something. I guess I can do that real quick. Somebody's asking here, asking for my YouTube link. Okay, I can put that down below. Just stand by here for a second. I will do that for you. But yeah, that's what we're going to be watching here for tonight. We're going to watch and see how those storms behave here for tonight, and how are they going to go. What's that translation to pressure fall and strength of the system? That's going to be the big thing there. So let me go over here. I'm going to grab this link real quick. So stand by with me for just 1 second. I'm going to put this over in this chat. Just stand by there for you guys there on Facebook. And boom, there you go. Just drop the link in there. That's the link to the current broadcast right now on the YouTube channel. So you can go ahead and watch it, and from that side, and you can also do the subscribe. That's the big thing. This channel we've been doing pretty good here lately. We added today about 25 new subscribers so far with my updates. That's pretty nice for us. And a little at a time. That's how we kind of get things growing a little bit. So that's what we're going to be looking at here for right now. If you guys got any questions, again, for wherever your locations are, please don't hesitate to drop something down below as we kind of continue to watch what's going on here. As looking at the big picture there, you're kind of looking at the storm there in the Gulf, just kind of emerging into the Gulf. And I'm not going to change this angle. I kind of want to look at this this broader perspective here, and just kind of watching to see if we're going to actually get honest to God eye to form here tonight. May not see it before our broadcast is up for now, but it would not shock me tomorrow morning to see an actual eye form on this storm. I would not shock me by tomorrow. If we get winds, if the pressure starts to fall legitimately. Let me look at some of the stuff here from the Hurricane Center. I've not had a chance to read because I was getting ready for the broadcast. I haven't got a chance to really look at their discussion stuff. So let me go ahead and kind of glance over this a little bit here. And they have taken the winds upward. Wow, they're seeing something that we saw that up going hard. Now they're taking the winds up to 130 mile per hour winds at landfall. We're flirting with Cat 4, getting very close. Get over 136, we're going into Cat 4 territory there. So we're a very strong Cat 3. This has got, and we're talking about going from 85 to 130 mile per hour winds within the next 24 hours. That is significant. 115 knots. That's some big boy stuff there. All right, you're talking about some big boy stuff here. We get to 135. We're going into Cat 4 territory. So, this is going to be weird. And then once it's inland, it's going to become a extra tropical type system with winds that are still tropical storm force strengths 48 hours later. That's because it's merging with that upper level low. But this is significant. So. Again, let me look over here over the discussion here a little bit. They're talking about storm surge can reach as high as 20 feet now. 20 feet. Can you imagine stand outside, go 20 feet over here? That's like a two-story building or even higher. I mean, that is substantial here. I want to show this. I showed this earlier. This is a neat website here I found here talking about storm surge. This is a good site here. This kind of shows you what the storm surge is at different categories of the storm. And I want to show you this. So let's go back here to Cat 1. I'm going to go in a little bit closer here. This is the Florida Big Bend here. Now, again, the big thing here, and I want to show you this. Watch this real quick as I go and pull this up so I can draw on a little bit. All right, so let's say we got the landfall somewhere over here. I got all that water is funneling in this way. Oops, excuse me. Hey, when it does that. So it's funneling in this. So you got the water is funneling in this way. So you see all that in there. That's category 1. If the coastline lights up and the further inland it goes, that means that the surge is higher and higher. So watch what happens here. Here's Cat 2. Notice how much further inland that goes. Here's Cat 3. Stepping into 4. Now we're talking about getting close to Cat 4. Here, let's bring up one to Cat 4. Look how much further it goes inland there. And obviously, if we go to Cat 5, boy, we're talking about a surge of water that gets how many miles from Tallahassee? It's not even that far from there. I mean, wow. I mean, that whole area just goes underwater for that high. But we're talking a strong Cat 3, Cat 4, that whole area just being inundated with a wall of some very significant water now with this system moving on in. So it's kind of weird when you're looking at a system the way it looks currently right now, and you're going, this bad boy is going to be winds of 130 mile per hour winds. Now, keep in mind, we're not talking about, it's not Hurricane Michael. Michael, of course, got up to 160 mile per hour winds on its landfall. It had a real intensification burst as the eye wall was restructuring right when it was making landfall. That kind of shows you when it comes to these systems, it's all about the timing. It really is about the timing of where the storm is in its eye cycle replacement or eye wall. The fact that we haven't really got one organized yet, this thing will probably be reaching its peak as far as when the eye will not be going through a replacement cycle right when it's arriving at the coast. I think it's probably another reason why they're looking that way. So Gina was just letting us know that they just issued a hurricane warning now for the Columbus, Georgia area. And that's not a surprise because they just increased the wind speed up even higher on this. So, I know what's happening there in Columbus and a lot of Georgia areas. There's going to be a mad rush, almost like when we get snow in the south. This is something we have not seen typically. We're saying, this is just a Gulf Coast thing. This is for folks who got beach houses and stuff like this. Not with this bad boy. It's because, like I said when I started the broadcast, I've never seen a situation like this. My buddy of mine, Glenn Burns, he was the chief of WSB for years. He said in his 40 years, he'd never seen anything like this. Never seen anything like this. And so this is really an amazing and very isolated situation that you probably won't see repeated again. I may never see a situation set up like this where you got two lows and the Fukushima effect and wobbling all effect. It's just something that's just absolutely crazy here to see what's going to happen. And the fact that, this thing's going to get pretty close to right here. This is the live look here at St. George Island. Not too far from Apalachicola. I did hear the Coast Guard earlier today. Their broadcast actually leaks over on this YouTube page, and I was listening to it earlier. And they were doing mandatory evacuations off the island, which, of course, makes all the sense in the world. You want to do that. Although I think the worst of the storm surge won't be on St. George unless it wobbles a little bit back to the left some more. I think it'll be more to the east. The Cedar Key area, I know they are definitely evacuating out that area. The water storm surge is going to be significant in that area, to say the least. Hey, I want to thank everybody. We got a pretty good crowd here checking us out right now on the broadcast. If you are new and you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please help this weather guy out. He's trying to build a solid weather product here for you. And it helps the YouTube algorithm. We're trying to get new viewers come out. Just subscribe. At least leave a thumbs up or leave me a comment. Tell me where you're watching from. That really helps as well. So, again, we're going to be in store for a long day tomorrow. Now, my plan here for tonight is I want to stay broadcasting here probably up until at least the 8 o'clock advisory. Unless the storm starts doing something really crazy and maybe I want to stay on a little bit longer. So I'm going to stay broadcasting till 8. We still got 2.5 more hours of fun out here for us. So tomorrow I'll start broadcasting about 8 o'clock. I'll take breaks in between, but I'm not taking the feed down. I'm going to keep it up. I'll play the music, have the radar on or something on while I'm recharging the batteries a little bit, like, eat, pee breaks, stuff like that. But we're going to be on 8 o'clock tomorrow and to stay on as long as I am able and capable to function. One of the advantages of working in TV, and I worked in TV for a number of years, it was always good to be able to hand off to another meteorologist. And yours truly is by himself, so I have nobody to hand off to. And thank you for that new subscriber. I do appreciate you coming on board here for today. We're going to try to make a run at 4,500 at least. I think we'll get to 4,500. That's pretty safe bet. I think we'll get there for the end of the broadcast tomorrow. And look at it, I've got another new subscriber. Hey, you guys are awesome. Awesome sauce. I love watching that counter go up. You know, it makes that what I'm doing more worth it. You know, I kind of wish I had started this 2 years sooner, than maybe I'd have a huge audience. But then again, if I did, I wouldn't be able to answer y'all's individual questions because there'd be too many chats going on in the chat room. Crystal Bell is asking about Panama City. Should she leave? No, Panama City Beach. You're on the left side of the storm. You don't have a storm surge, okay? And your winds are not nearly going to be nearly as bad. So no, I'd say if you're in Panama City Beach, you're okay. You're gonna have some gusty winds. You're gonna probably have some heavy rains. Not gonna rule that out. But I think Panama City Beach, best for you just is to hunker down and wait for it to go on by. Oh, that reminds me of a game. Hey, thanks for the new subscriber there. Who do we get? I missed that one. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Doggone it. Thank you for the new subscriber. I was at a weather conference years ago, and we were using a radar system called Barron Services. And Barron Services, we were watching a hurricane making a landfall on the east coast of Florida. And these were a bunch of weather guys, all weather nerds, all of us sitting there driving our radar and watching the storm coming in. We were watching live coverage streaming up on TV screens. And every time we heard a reporter say something that was cliche, it's like hunker down, batten down the hatches, we would have a beer and we would take a drink with it. so I think it was a little sick. It's like, oh, we're toasting the people's misery. But every time we heard a reporter use a cliche-est thing about the landfalling tropical the hurricane, I think it was Juan, I believe it was the storm, we would make a drinking game out of it. So, what else are you going to do? I was around for, I remember Hurricane Opal. And this is probably the storm that folks in Georgia are going to compare it to. Opal made landfall over near Fort Walton Beach, so it was further down the beach than where this one's going in at. And it got up to like a Cat 4, but it was weakening as it was moving inland, but it was racing northward. And they had hurricane force winds all the way up metro Atlanta, had thousands of power outages all over the place with that storm. This one, I think, it may be worse than that one. And that was considered an historic storm by many parts across Alabama, Georgia, the Florida Panhandle. This one, I think, has the potential to be worse for several reasons. One, I think the wind speeds could be potentially higher over a bigger area, and the flooding part of this is going to be extremely high. We're talking extremely high flood potential with this thing, especially across the North Georgia mountains. All the tributaries that go downstream out of Georgia and Alabama that flow southward are likely going to flood. It's been dry. The only plus we've got is that it's been on the dry side for a little while. But I don't think it'll matter. Not with this amount of rain. Not that fast. It's just too much. So, mudslides up in the mountains, the power outages that we're going to see, it's going to be quite a bit there. Gina was saying, I was in Mississippi when that one was, okay, you're talking about Opal there? What you're saying about Gina? Yep, that is, that's one you got to remember. I was actually working in the one thing about Opal, here's the weird thing about a Hurricane Opal 95. It was in October. It was early October when that happened. And the O.J. Simpson verdict had come down like the day before. Nobody was paying attention to the hurricane because they were all watching what was going on with the O.J. Simpson trial. And this hurricane overnight, like I suspect this one will do, blew up big time and caught a lot of people off guard because the media was focusing their attention somewhere else. So, yeah, so we'll see what happens with this one here. I think people are paying attention a little bit to this one, although, obviously we got an election year going on. We got a lot of stuff going on in the news, but this one, I think, not going to surprise a lot of people. That's for sure. All right, let's go take a look at the, I'm going to switch Radar Omega here, back over here to the radar here. Let's see what's going on over here. I heard a couple alerts here. Come on, we still got don't see anything up there. It's kind of pulling out here. One thing for sure, Atlanta's getting some steady rains. The Atlanta Braves are supposed to be playing the New York Mets tonight in town. And I don't know if they're going to get the game in. I don't know if this settles down enough for it to be a problem. Let's look at these storm totals here around Atlanta so far from today's rains. So I'm going to look at the storm totals here. Oh, there we go. So, boy, you had some pretty good heavy rains here south of town already. So let me look at some of these. Look at Auburn, 4 inches of rain already. Look at this, 3.5, 3.5. Here's another 4-inch rain. Here's up in Harris County, north of Muskogee. Now, thank you for the new subscriber. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. 4 inches. I mean, you're already getting some 3-4 inches rains already, and this is even with the associated storm, to say the least. You got some rains up here in North Georgia, over 2.5 inches just south of Dahlonega. Got some over here near Rome, 2.5, 3 inches rain totals already over here. And again, this is before the hurricane even gets here. This is stuff that's going to fall in advance of that storm. So I see we got a couple of warnings coming out. Where are they at? Are they out west somewhere? I don't see them. Not lining up. Sometimes the alert will do that if it's picking up something from, it may be an upgrade to the National Hurricane Center stuff that's coming out. It'll do that when that alert tone that you hear goes off there. And this radar system, by the way, is called Radar Omega. They're actually based out of Atlanta. They're actually not too far from where I live. Hope to get a sponsorship with them someday to be able to take a look at that and to do some stuff with them. Okay, here is I see one tornado warning up here in Charleston. But that's the only thing I see. Let's see. This is radar indicated. I'm sure it is. Yeah, radar indicated. Yeah, this one expires in like 4 minutes. Doesn't look that impressive. I was just kind of checking that out real quick. All right, that was not doesn't look that impressive to me. But this rain is not pushing anywhere. It's moving from south to north. It's what we call training. This is called training. You get the rain that's kind of moving over the same ground. That's called training, and you're definitely getting a lot of rain falling over the same area here for several hours. It's been storming outside my window here for a little while. And, oh, they did issue a tour warning on this one over here. They're kind of way far from the radar. God bless, it's hard to see. Let me take a look here. I'm just going to look at the higher velocity. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is a tornado warning. Absolutely. Yeah, buddy. That's amazing. We got to deal with this kind of weather before we even got a hurricane coming in. But, yeah, you got radar indicated. That's clearly got the circulation on that one. Central Greenbrier County and West Virginia until 6:15. And it's moving northeast at 25. So I guess I need to watch this a little bit tonight. But you clearly can see the yellow and the green on there. That's the circulation, although it looks pretty broad. That's a pretty broad circulation on that. And speaking of tornadoes, again, that's going to be part of this coverage here tonight, guys, for this weekend. This area here along the coast, this is going to be really right in here. That's going to be a really hot area to watch right through here on that quadrant. That is where, when the storm's making landfall, we're going to see a number of tornadoes. Now, I don't know if we're going to get the numbers that we saw like with Hurricane Ivan back in 2004. I was working in Panama City at the time, and I think that storm produced the most tornadoes on record. I believe it was like 200 and something, 204 tornadoes with that particular storm. I don't know if we're going to get that level on this storm, but because of this having such a fairly large wind field, it would not shock me in the least to see that happen. Let me go down here to the south. I want to go back here to the west, the Key West radar. Oops, zoom in a little bit. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's where the other warning was. Look at that. Speaking of water spouts, look at this. We got a warning down here. That's where that other one was. I couldn't see it. Lower Keys in Monroe County, Florida. So we got a water spout down here. Again, not unusual. This is a feeder band. This is an outer feeder band of our hurricane. So when you get that pivoting rotation motion in there, you're going to see that. So let's go back to the live camera there. Take a live look at Key West there. Definitely seeing some pretty heavy rains coming into Key West right now. Some pretty good downpours and some definitely seeing some pretty nasty weather through there. Let me shut that down there a little bit. Let's go back to Radar Omega here. In fact, let me go to the wall. I want to look at this more closely. Let me go look at the velocity mode here and zoom on in. I see it something. Yeah, I see it right through there. I definitely see that. Let me go over here to the, I'm going to go over here to the wall a little bit. Bear with me here for a second, but, oh, it just updated. That was it there for a second, and then it was gone. It was right there. I saw it, and then it just updated. Whoop, it gone, which is not unusual. You can get these kind of things where you get something that'll spin up there for a second and then kind of move off. Or it might be right there. let's see the green and the red right here, just coming through the Keys. So it's a water spout, but again, it'll go over some of those smaller islands right through there. Should be fairly weak, but there's the radar over here, and Key West, where we're looking on that live cam's way out here. So it's going through the central portion of the Keys right there with that outer feeder band coming through. So yeah, that was it was like, let me go over the wall. Oh, there, it just jumped out of the way. That was crazy. Crazy. Get back here to my normal radar here. Stand by here for a second. Oop, there I am. All right, let's go back over to reflectivity mode here. And again, I want to welcome everybody to our coverage here. We're going to be going here for a little while, a couple more hours. We're going to see if we see any big major changes with this system with our Helene as it's moving through the Keys right here. Some of these outer bands moving through some very heavy rains here. Let's see what this buoy is reporting here. Showing the pressure, 29.74. That's not too bad there. What's really sad over the years is we've lost a number of buoys out in the ocean, and we don't have nearly the coverage we used to have. So we can't see it. And like this one here is marginally operational. It's only showing like wave heights and stuff. So, but the water temperature is showing 86 degrees. So that shows you how warm that water temperature is out there. But we don't have a lot of these buoys out here to help us out here. This one's showing sea surface water temperature 87 degrees, and this is in the neighborhood of where this thing's going to be going. Oh boy, I probably need to go ahead and turn on let me turn on my hurricane stuff here. I'm sorry, let me turn this on so I've got this on this map. See, past track and projected path. I don't want the cone. Cone gets in my way. So, like for example, you see the path of this one getting close to where this buoy is there, but it's not going to be, it's going to be gone. But you see here, by the time we get to, by the time we get to, 130, 129, brain dead. Hello, that is Cat 4. For some reason, I was thinking 134. So, gust to 160. Wow. Just looking at this track. And then landfall gets very close to that buoy. That's 82-degree water temperature. Here's a couple of these storm chasers. We got 4 of these guys, and we'll be watching these guys tomorrow. Let's see if anyone's broadcasting out here right now. They're out there on the roads. Doesn't really much to show. Let's see if they're out on the beaches here. Yeah, a lot of these guys get into position. Hopefully they get into good, safe positions so they know where to get to higher ground, especially if that storm surge comes in here. But all of these guys are getting out here to see what sea conditions are going to go out. They're going to be okay tonight, but boy, tomorrow around this time, it's not going to be the good place to be. That's for sure. It's going to be pretty bad. But we're going to keep a watchful eye on these storm chaser guys here. We'll be watching them all for tomorrow. And as we pull up the names, if you catch them out on YouTube, definitely make a donation to these guys. These guys are our eyes, ears, and they report all the good stuff. I highly recommend checking out the storm chasers out there, and if you can support their pages, please do, because these guys do an awesome job, and I've been following them since this past April when I finally got my live stuff up and going. So anyway, yeah, we're getting some of these outer spiral bands here, and right now we're at 85-mile-per-hour winds, but by the time we get to 2 o'clock in the morning, wow, they're really expecting this thing to really take off a lot. Like I said, but when this data came in, I was just getting my stuff organized, so I hadn't really had a chance to read everything in here yet. So they're expecting this thing to go to 85 to 110 by 2 o'clock in the morning in the next 6-7 hours. So that says something, folks. That really does. That says that we got to have a storm system that's going to be rapidly intensifying. And what I'm going to be watching is this core of this hurricane. I want to see how these thunderstorms behave if we get a nice core dense, central dense overcast to form there, and if we see significant pressure falls. In fact, let me see here. I want to check and see here if I got a new vortex message. So what the Hurricane Hunter aircraft does, it'll drop a drop sound. It drops it down in the storms, and it takes readings all around, humidity, temperature, pressure, and they get that all in there. So I want to check and see if they've updated. Has there been an updated vortex message recently? And yes, actually, this one just came. Oh, this one just came in. Oh, this is hot. All right, breaking news here. I just caught this. This literally just came in. I mean, like within the minute, it just came in. I just caught this. Pressure has dropped 4 millibars. down 3 more millibars. It's down to 975 millibars. Okay, to give you an idea, 975 was about where Francine was, and we had winds to 100 miles per hour. So whenever the pressure falls, there's a bit of a delay between when the winds will come up, all right, in speed. So there's the pressure will drop first, and then the winds will respond in kind, and they'll be at like flight level winds, and they'll work their way down to the surface. Okay, so as the pressure falls, and boy, those thunderstorms look. You see that purple in there blowing up there? Those are some very intense thunderstorms there. And what I'm watching for here is, again, what happens here to around the center of circulation here? Do we get a nice dark close off here? And that's what we're going to be watching over the next couple hours, okay? So we're definitely seeing indications of strength. The pressure's down down another 3 millibars. I suspect by the time we get to the 8 o'clock advisory, we're probably going to see the winds going up to at least 90, if not 95, by the 8 o'clock advisory. So, hey, if you're welcome to the channel here, I appreciate you guys checking us out. My name is Greg, by the way. I'm your personal weatherman. You're here on the Weather Nerds channel. If you're new and you haven't subscribed, what you waiting for, man? Come on, hit that subscribe button. Join the family here. If you're on Facebook, you know what to do. Just do the like on that side. And I appreciate you guys supporting our channel here. We're going to be going till about another couple hours here for today, maybe longer. We'll see what happens with this thing for tonight. If it looks like it's going to be doing some rapid intensification, I might want to stay on top of this. We got a new warning here, and that's 9 minutes off the old one. Let me stop this real quick. I want to double check here. And yeah, I don't see nothing in there. I saw something there for a split second. And boy, it raced out so fast. Woo! It's there and it's gone. And they already lifted the warning. They just lifted it. Yeah. I tell you, that whatever was in there moved in so quick, it was like boom, boom, gone. I was just checking the radar omegas here. Let me go back over to radar omega. I was just checking out the band. There's a pretty good band there going through there right now. See what the live shot there. Well, it's looking a little bit better there now. So what happens with these dark? You see the dark clouds there? That's probably that bright thunderstorms there, just down toward the Keys. You're going to get some very gusty winds, probably up to about between 40 and 50 miles per hour, if not a little higher, with some of these squalls coming through. And that's what they'll continue to see through Key West. And then as we go to tomorrow, early in the day, we'll be watching for these outer bands to be impacting areas there in Tampa. Now, they'll be on the right side. Some of those outer squalls, again, the tornado threat will be there for the Tampa area. And there's hurricane warnings up along the coast because some of those squalls might bring some gusts up to hurricane force in there over time. So that is what we're looking at in those locations. Again, here's the latest coordinates from this. If you just kind of joining in here, again, as the 5 o'clock advisory, we were at 22.5 north and 86.6 west, moving north at about 12. And winds right now 85. Now it says 978, but the new vortex message that just came in from the Hurricane Hunter aircraft says down to 975. So it's dropped 3 millibars. It has been kind of holding its own all day today, but now that the sun's going down and the storm has moved away from the Yucatan, I think now we're going to start seeing this thing start to blow up here pretty rapidly over the next several hours a little bit. So you can see where those hurricane warnings are along the coast. They're just near Panama City, going around the Horn there and going all the way down toward just right near Tampa. So right along that area, that's a pretty broad area. It's what's interesting is that the hurricane force winds don't extend that far out right now, but I don't think it's going to stay that way. The tropical storm force winds are to about 250 miles across, so quite significant there for the storm as it moves up that way. It's amazing, though, that we're talking about a system that within 24 hours is going to be flirting with a Cat 4 hurricane at 130 mile per hour winds. My brain wasn't working. I was thinking 134 for some dumb reason, but it's okay. All right. Anyway. Woo! Oh, there we got a new scan coming in here. Let me go back to the radar omega here. Got a new scan coming in, so I want to watch the scan as it's doing its sweep here to see if it's boy, it's amazing when the scan comes through. You just got to, one thing about these scans, you can see how much of a change you get in just a short amount of time, just at the speed at which this stuff is rotating around, just quite a bit. And Dare Harp, you were the last subscriber we just had. I didn't get to acknowledge you there. Thank you, Dare. I appreciate you joining us here on the channel. Thank you very much. So, yeah, that is something there. Let's pull back out of here. Let's go. But that is definitely an outer band there, buddy. That is an outer band of our hurricane just kind of rotating around. Think of feeder bands as wave that the energy is drawn into the hurricane. So a hurricane is nothing more than one big giant heat engine. All right, it brings in all the heat and all the energy that's stored in the tropics, because hurricanes they transport heat from the tropics to the poles to get rid of the imbalance. Mother Nature does not like an imbalance. When you get too much heat in the tropics, it'll boil over. It helps transport this. And that's what hurricanes and typhoons do. Now, as the heat is brought in at the surface, that's why during daytime heating, you get the natural lifting of the air, right? The air likes to lift because of daytime heating naturally. When the sun goes down and those warm waters are there for the hurricane, it's easier for it to bring that heat energy in. So typically, we saw this with Beryl earlier this year. At night, we saw rapid intensification at night where it made a big jump in the category. So when you're talking about water temperatures out here that are 85, 87 degrees, as we saw some of the buoys out there, it's not going to take it long for it to get rapid intensification for it to come on in. Let me look at I want to look at how we're doing on our count here for today. Let's look at the number of likes we've got so far. So we got 24 likes so far. Appreciate you guys. That's good to help. Good start there. And we had somebody donated $1.99. I appreciate you. Absolutely. Every little donation helps the channel. If you guys can do me a favor before you go off, we're averaging 5 minutes and 26 seconds. That's the average turnover as people come in and come out. So we're going to be broadcasting for a little while. If you want to go surf somewhere else and come back a little bit, we can do that. Before you do that, just give me a thumbs up if you can help me out. And if you've already subscribed, outstanding. Thank you very much. Appreciate being part of the family here for tonight. And I got to do that, unfortunately, because if I don't, then my numbers don't stay up and it goes flat and it dies. It's a YouTube thing. Don't ask me why. I don't write the software. Anyway, let's go here, take a look at these watches and warnings once again. Looks like they did just add some additional. Let me make sure this is updated. Looks like they expanded some of the flood watches there across Alabama. Let me double check this one more time. And excuse me while I go ahead and get this to the right region real quick. Stand by real quick. I want to go back to the national. And there we go. Yeah, they have expanded. Wow, look at that. Man, I don't think I've never seen a map like that. Oh my God. I have never seen a map like that. I was just updating it just to see the whole state of Georgia, the whole state of South Carolina, and now North Carolina ending with a tropical storm watches up now. Oh my good Lord. You got the warnings. Oh my Lord. Wow. I have never seen this. This is amazing. This is amazing, folks. I'm not kidding. I've been in hurricanes. I've tracked these things. I've looked at, and I have never seen something like that. That is a first. I just absolutely have never seen that. Oh, you know what? I just realized. Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. That's why I'm not seeing my chats over there. Ooh, my bad. I got to fix something, guys. Pop out chat. Hey, sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I wasn't getting your chats over there because I didn't pop out my chat thing. My bad. I got you now. You weren't coming in my chat. The way Chat Ninja works, you got to have the chats for both Facebook and YouTube popped out. If they're not popped out at the same time, you won't get it there anymore. So go ahead and start chatting all the way there on the YouTube side. I'm sorry. I didn't see you. That's my fault. My apologies. I was like, oh, my God. No wonder I was getting into YouTube chats. I thought it was just me. Hey, my apologies there, YouTube. I'm going to have to go look at that chat there. Hey, ta-da! Hey, there goes Donovan. Hey, guys, there we go. Ta-da! Yes, we're all on there. Janelle. Hey, Janelle. I'm sorry. I was sitting there engaging with all my Facebook guys, but I wasn't engaging the YouTube side. I apologize for that. I'm so sorry. That was completely my fault. Dun-dun-dun-dun. You live and you learn. What can you say? All right, let's go back and look at the storm here again. Let's look at the tight infrared here. This one updates pretty rapidly here, so it gets a new image here pretty decently here. And just kind of watching again. I'm going to watch that core around where I think that center is. So it's right about in here, and see how this goes in. I love the emojis too, man. I love the emojis. Folks put the emojis on there. That was a nice little thing that the software program I put in there helped. Yeah, Janelle, I'm sorry. My apologies. I feel like an idiot. I know better too. That's what's bad. I know about it. Hey, it's now 6 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Again, welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Greg, your one and only true weatherman in the YouTube universe. Been a weather guy for like 27 years. And we're doing our coverage here on Hurricane Helene, which is going to be one for the history books, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I think this will be a storm that'll probably be retired. This is a storm that's going to cause tremendous storm surge. It's going to cause extensive flooding, and it's one of the more unique storms that you will see in a lifetime just because of the different mechanisms involved. Cold fronts, we're talking upper level lows and all that kind of stuff that goes with it. And I can show you this here. Let me show you this here. I'm going to back this up. I believe I've got my fronts on, I believe. Let me double check here. I do have them on, good. So let me pull this back here a little bit. I'm going to pull up here. So, I mean, you see all the flash flood warnings that are already there. So here's the current situation over Georgia right now. Again, you got that cold front there. All right, so that's here. Then you've got this energy that's coming down here. There's an upper level feature coming in behind this. So you got the upper low, you got your frontal system there, and then of course we got our tropical system here that's going to be coming in from the south. So we got a pretty good draw on that. Actually, let me go back to here. I'm sorry, got the wrong thing up. Let me do it over here. So, oops, get that going. Hello. There we go. Come on. I got too many windows open here. All right, so we got our cold front, right? You got our tropical system here coming in from the south. You got that upper low energy coming down this way. So it's a trifecta. It really is a true trifecta. You've got three different entities. If you wanted to call it the perfect storm, I think that comes to mind when you remember how they were talking about that back in 1991. A hurricane front, upper level low cold air. It's similar, but that was again over the ocean when that was happening. I've never seen it on a landfalling tropical system ever. It's the absolute first I've ever seen this. So this is going to be one that, unfortunately, is going to cause a lot of problems, especially in the state of Georgia and Florida. Those two especially. But those interior sections, as you just saw there with the watches and warnings here, going all the way out here. Oops, I got to turn that off. Let me turn that back off. And I got to go back to my wider perspective here. Stand by for a second. I forgot to turn my refresh off. There we go. So, I mean, you're talking about areas there in Tennessee and parts of southern Kentucky and getting up to West Virginia. I mean, we're talking multiple states here being impacted by this one system. And especially as it makes that transition from tropical system to some sort of hybrid entity and the number of rains. And what's interesting to me, again, looking at Georgia, look how far inland that dark red is going for, includes Columbus and getting up toward Macon. The hurricane force winds are expected to go. Because as the storm gets moving, it's going to start to increase its forward speed and get faster as it accelerates toward the coastline. So it's going to take it a while for those 130 mile per hour winds expected at landfall to wind down. Now, I still think areas in Atlanta, northeast Atlanta, my way and stuff, will still see some gust potential up to hurricane force. This is when you see the hurricane warnings there, that makes more of a sustained wind. But gusts, I think, near hurricane force are going to be very possible across metro Atlanta for this system as well as it moves on in. So let's go look back to Key West here again. Oh, look, they broke some sunshine. Isn't that something? You got a hurricane not far away. Hey, we're going to break a little sunshine out. We're going to break a little sunshine, but as we're panning the camera over, we got a pretty good squall there going on. It's been breezy there in Key West all day. I've been checking this camera out pretty religiously here over the last few hours or so. Let's go back over radar Omega here. Again, I'm just double checking, make sure we don't have no tornado warnings down this way. I wonder if they still got these ones. I still got these ones up in West Virginia, which is out in no man's land, and it's too far from a radar. God, let's can't get a good lock on that. Yeah, still radar indicated there. Nothing to worry about there. Just kind of panning up, but look at the pan here, folks. Going, I know you folks over on the Facebook side watching. You got right between Americas and Columbus, 80-mile-per-hour wind hurricane. Just to your east. Look how close it is. This cuts through Muskogee County, the extreme eastern end of Muskogee County, out toward Midland, I guess. Yeah, this is too close. It goes right over Pine Mountain, gets awfully close to the LaGrange, and we don't get another update till it's way up here to the north as it goes as we come. But this thing's going to really haul. I mean, so we're talking by what time? This is 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday. It coming up this way, so it's going to be a long night. I know. I've worked with many of the meteorologists there in the Columbus market. Obviously, Bob Giswald at Channel 3, Derek Kincaid over at Channel 9. They're going to be doing their wall-to-wall stuff, but I'm going to continue to do my stuff here as well with this coverage. But it's going to be a long night, folks, for that stuff coming in. But right now, they're just dealing with a lot of steady rains coming in across that region right now, to say the least. And it's training. I hate seeing that, too. Look at that rain moving over the same ground for a while, and it's very moisture laden, very tropical, juicy laden air. We'll go back here to the Key West radar. I'm going to keep it down here as I watch this outer band here. Make sure we don't get any more water spouts to spin up. I'll keep watching that while I switch this back over here to the main radar here. So again, hey, I want to welcome everybody to our channel here at 606 here on the Weather Nerds channel. My name's Greg. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please do so. And before you leave, if you can do me a favor, either subscribe or give me a thumbs up. Helps the algorithm as we get that natural turnover. If you're like me on YouTube, man, you know what I do on YouTube? I got my remote on my TV. I'm going, I'll sit there and watch it for a little while. I'm like, okay, then I'll go to something else. And then I'll come back to it. You know, it's the guy thing to do. I always do that. So but before you do that, just go ahead and please help me out there and just give me a thumbs up. And leave the comments down in the chat. All that helps the YouTube algorithm. It shows an active channel and keeps us going. You know, we've got a couple hundred views here in the last hour, you know, whereas some of the bigger channels are going to have like 50, 60, 70, 100,000. We'll have nothing like that. So, but we'll take what participation we can get from you guys. And I do appreciate you guys supporting the channel here. Like M.H. Andrews, who donated on the super chat, gave $1.99. I appreciate there. Just know that any money makes on the channel will go back to the channel. In fact, I'm going to be giving away 8 weather radios when I get to 5,000 subscribers. I already got it allocated. We're going to buy 8 weather radios, and we're going to give them away once I get to 5,000 subscribers. So that's hoping to do that by the end of the year. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We're hoping at least for today to hopefully get up to about 4,500. That'd be nice. We get another 53 subscribers here for before tomorrow's event, and we'll see how things go. So anyway, let's go take a look here at a couple things here as I'm looking at Julie Craig. Same here. Will be the bank's overlook. That's a good question there, Jeff. I would say probably the likelihood is yes. I know that the lake is down a little bit. I know Lake Lanier up here in Atlanta is down a little bit. We can take a little bit of that rain. But I don't know if a foot of rain, and especially the coverage area we're talking about, will cause the problems. I would say very good likelihood that the banks there in Columbus will probably flood, as well as over on the other side in Augusta on the Savannah River. It wouldn't shock me if both areas do get that chance to flood a little bit. All right, while we're talking over here, I want to take a look and see if we've got some updated model data here coming in. So let me double check here. We're going to get the 0Z going here in about an hour or so. Checking to see if the Europeans got the 18Z yet or not. Let's see here. Nope, it's being real slow today. I hate that. And thank you for that new subscriber, whoever just donated there. I appreciate you there. Thank you for coming on board. Only got 2 more and we can get to 4450. Yeah! I get excited about the little things. I do sometimes wish I had done this 2 years sooner. I really, really do. But I missed the boat on that. I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary. I retired from the Army last year. And I would worked in TV in the Army. Career was kind of back and forth. And so my mother bought me this gaming computer, which is what I used to run all my stuff. And when I look back at the stuff I did back then when I first started, God, it was terrible. It was so bad, graphically and the look and everything. I didn't know a lot of stuff, so I've kind of learned things over the year. And but what happened was I had a lot of success initially. I got like 3,000 subscribers in like the first 4 months, and then it just stopped. Part of it was because of once one person had this huge success, everybody started diving in. So the market has become a little saturated. So I kind of missed the boat on this a little bit by a couple of years. So for me, I appreciate the subscribers probably a little bit more than anybody else would, because I have to work at it. Whether it be my shorts, whether it be my live updates, whether it be my dailies that I do. For me, I appreciate a little more when I get 6, 7, 8 additional subscribers in a day, and keep that going on a regular basis, because it shows positive growth and a number going in the right direction. And so I'm not going to get that instant quick hit, that fast burst where I get, several hundred or 1,000 subscribers all at once. Not going to happen, not based off the YouTube algorithm and the way it works. So I got to work at it. And I'm okay with that. But I do appreciate you folks watching the channel here. So let me go back here. I'm looking at I'm trying to see if there's been any update. I'm trying to see if the 18Z European's in, and I'm not seeing it. It should be in by now, but it's not. Nope, not there. Anyway, I want to look at changes. I want to look over to the hurricane models here. And thank you for that new subscriber. Look at that. Yay, buddy. All right, let me go over here I'm looking at a couple of these. All right, let's look here. Look at wind speeds. Look at this one here. This was the 12Z one. And this one's not, this doesn't show the wind. This does not show the... Oof, look at that, right over. That's what I showed you. This is one of my models I'm just kind of looking at here, just to get an idea of what I'm looking at. So this is, oops, take that down real quick. Sorry about that. Sometimes I forget to take down my charts there. Yeah, that's true. It's tough to be on when they're not, but obviously with a storm like this, there's only certain times you can be on when they're not. so we all got to be doing this. I know I'm not the only one out there broadcasting right now, Janelle. I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there streaming. I don't want to look though. I want to be on my own, do my own thing. Hey, Jeff Brown here. Last I saw landfall around 7 or 8. I think that's reasonable. In fact, we go back here to the last update here from the Hurricane Center here. Again, let me turn the line on here because I do like, I know they tell you not to worry about just the line, but I kind of like the line on. It's just my thing. It's my kind of thing here. Oops. Get there. Yeah. Greenville, Alabama. We got Greenville, Alabama. All right. Greenville, Alabama, you are far enough away where you're going to have maybe a little rain, but maybe a little wind, but nothing of major significance in Greenville. Greenville, you're going to be okay. All right. I pass through Greenville all the time going to Pensacola. So not to say you won't see any weather in Greenville, but again, probably not that much. Because even on this, if you look at this model data here, hey, Monique, look at this model here. Again, what I was showing you there, even in Greenville, you can see some of those outer bands. And because the reason why the west side, I think it's going to get more rain than you typically do, is because it's interacting with that frontal boundary that's in there. And that's why I think we're going to get a little more rain on the Alabama side than you would traditionally see with a landfalling hurricane. Typically, it's almost all on the right, not as much on the left. But this situation and this setup is a little bit different. It's definitely, well, not a little bit different. It's a lot different. To say like, hey, Monique, good to see you there. Let's say hello. Monique Square McDonald. Hey, roll call here, by the way. Hey, help me out. Tell me where y'all are from, by the way. I see that Monique was from Greenville. And we got someone here in Valley. Well, on that track, Valley, you might be looking at some very strong gusty winds. Could not rule out some power outages for Valley. No, that's right. Valley, Alabama, by the way, is right there on the Alabama-Georgia line. Yet when you see, something like this coming through your area, it's awfully close. And the track of the center with this one's going to be a really big deal, more so than normal. And that's just because of how the core winds are going to fly out. Lisa Ramsey in the house, calling from Columbus, Georgia there on Facebook. Good to see you there, Lisa. Welcome to the broadcast here tonight. And those of you on Facebook, if you do want to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, I did put the link. If you scroll back up to the top, you'll see the link there of this broadcast on YouTube side. You can subscribe on that side as well if you'd like to. Hey, there's Ash from Columbus, Georgia. Hey, Ash, good to see you. Welcome on board here for tonight. And, of course, we got Janelle. Janelle, she's one of our regulars. She's from Ohio, Dayton, Ohio. Welcome, Janelle. So, good to kind of acknowledge everybody. Jeff Bates. He is watching from San Antonio, but he's from the Columbus area, so he's concerned about Columbus. And Jeff, I would be too. It's one of those things where, the problem I've seen with Georgia that really concerns me. Let me go back over here to the satellite imagery here, as I want to continue to watch and make sure that we seeing how this thing's organizing. That's why I'm doing this for, is to kind of see how this thing organizes here over the next few hours. It's not just that we're going to have power outages. It's how extensive the power outages are going to be over a big area. I already bought my non-perishable food. I've got lanterns, I've got candles, I've got some water. I can be okay for a couple days if the power goes up in my area. It says, how quickly are the power crews going to be able to get in there when it's the state the size of Georgia could see that many outages? Usually it's very concentrated in a very small area, But with this hurricane like here, it's not a traditional setup. It is not. It's so much different. Vala Fisher, how you doing, Vala? And we got Davey Davis. How you doing there? Good to say hello to everybody. Oh, see, somebody sent me a message here on my other side here. That was Miley. Miley, if you're watching there on Facebook, you can just go ahead and post there. You don't send me messages on the other side. I can't really get to it while I'm doing both things. So just go ahead over to the chat there. And the YouTube chat's open too, so you guys can chat over there as well. So what are we looking at? You're looking at the infrared imagery of the satellite. Now, obviously, the sun's gone down. Infrared imagery measures the cloud tops, and the colder the cloud tops, the higher the thunderstorm, the brighter the white and the purples are. So when you see the darker whites and the purples kind of escalating, that is indication of a storm that is strengthening, okay? So that's what we're seeing there, and I'm going to check. Ooh, get a little thunder outside my house. And just double checking to see if that has changed any. Nope. Flight level wind 72 knots, which is not that high. So anyway, going on there. So just double checking my notes. So we're going to watch this closely tonight, and I suspect as we get toward maybe 11 o'clock tonight, if the trend is what their forecast is, we're probably going to see some sort of an eye wall there. Hey, Donovan. Donovan, by the way, is my niece's husband. So I want to say hello to Donovan. Hey, Donovan. Good to see you from there. Pensacola, you guys are going to be okay over there. My mom's over there. Trust me, if I thought Pensacola was going to be in any kind of trouble, I would have got my mom out of there. My dad lives down the street. We're going to get the worst of it up here than Pensacola, by far. By far. So, hey, Chip Kanko, my old classmate. Hey, Chip, good to see you there, brother. Yeah, Chip and I we were in grade school together back in the day, and also went to high school for a year there at Pacelli, and good to see you there, Chip. We were part of an old wrecking crew. It was Chip and me and David Bess and Billy Wooten and Raymond Fagnan. We all kind of hung out together, got in trouble in 8th grade. We did a lot of goofy stuff. Don't worry, Chip, I'm not going to say anything that'll get us in trouble. Where do all the gators go during these floods? That's a good one. Yeah, where do all the gators go when we got the floods going on? I don't know. I think they'll be fine in the Okefenokee. Good question there. All right, let's see here. All right, so they've updated that map. I kind of figured they were going to do that. All right, so here's a couple things I want to point out here. So let's talk about this a little bit. I'll zoom in a little bit. All right, I remember an old weather guy used to tell me this all the time. He would say, whenever you had a cold front and a hurricane, always put your money on the hurricane because that front ain't going nowhere until that hurricane gets out of the way. So what you're seeing right now is you've got a situation where the front is finally showing it as stalled. This is not moving anywhere. So we've got a situation developing here across Alabama and Georgia where this moisture is streaming out ahead of this front, and it's what we call training. It's falling over the same ground. And it's starting it tonight. And this is not associated with the hurricane yet, but we're going to get several inches of this stuff already in advance of the hurricane that's coming from the south. And then we're going to throw that rain on top of it. So it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. You're already seeing in here, and I can highlight some of these, you got several flash flood warnings already in here around the Columbus, Georgia area, near Auburn, here across South Alabama, getting back toward the Florida Panhandle. Already getting some flash flood warnings. That's illustrating to me just how high the water content is of this stuff streaming out ahead of the Gulf of Mexico. It's pretty stable. I mean, it's in the mid-60s across North Georgia. That's fairly stable. But in the 70s and 80s down the Florida Panhandle. Very juicy air down that way. In fact, it would not surprise to see the temperatures across North Georgia probably come up a little bit for tonight. So this is out ahead of our hurricane. All right, so the outer hurricane band is just out here. So you're just now starting to see some of that right here with this outer band right through here. This is one of the extreme outer bands. I tell you, whoever did the OBS telestrator, I like to shoot him because I hate that thing. So it does this. It just drives me crazy sometimes. So that's the outer bands of the hurricane there that's forcing up out. So this is a good question. Here's a good question somebody was asking about. In a way, what you're going to see happen, he's asking, could the front and the hurricane combine? That's the question right there. And the answer to that question is that's exactly what's going to happen in some form or fashion. Okay? That's exactly what's going to happen. And when I show you this model here, I'm going to go back to the NAM here, the last 18Z. I want to show you this again. And when you look at this right here, here's our hurricane coming up. This is our landfall. You got two systems, all right? You got one here. This is a low. This is that's your hurricane. Here's your upper low. And right in between them is you got this cold front in between. All right, so you got all that going on. And as I go forward here, watch what happens. The cold front, the low pressure, the hurricane, and that upper low all come together, become one entity. The cold front gets pushed back, hurricane goes in, they all come together in this one big cutoff low to the weekend. I've never seen that. Glenn Burns, meteorologist for 40 plus years in Metro Atlanta, he ain't never seen it. I've never seen it. I've seen something similar out in the Atlantic. I've seen that happen in North Atlantic where a couple of systems, but never a landfalling hurricane over land, merging with a cutoff low over land with a cold front, all the variables with that. I've never seen it. It is the first time I've seen this. So this is a very unique situation. And because it's unique and we've never seen it, as a weather forecaster and everything else, it throws certain variables that you're just not sure what you're going to see. We know we're going to have winds that are going to stay up higher than normal and last longer because of the forward speed and the interaction with the upper level low. We know we're going to have enhanced rain totals because of the cold front in the way and that tropical moisture bumping into that cold front and helping to lift it up a little bit more, adding additional lift. The cold front almost acts like the mountains. The mountains are going to be an effect here. We're going to see some hellacious high rainfall amounts there across the North Georgia area, right through there. I mean, we're talking rainfall amounts greater than potentially a foot there across portions of extreme northeast Georgia, North Carolina, and again, running into those mountains, you're going to get extremely heavy rain. So yes, Monique, we're definitely going to see all of that come to fruition as all these entities come together. Call it the perfect storm, call it whatever you want, but it is definitely something very unique, and I hope to never see it again. And the biggest thing for me is I just hope we don't lose any lives. We know it's going to happen. It happens every time we get a tropical system. It happens every time we get something landing. You're going to get somebody who will not evacuate from the storm surge and drown. You'll get a situation where I remember during Hurricane Ivan, when it was making landfall over toward Pensacola, Perdido Key area, there were folks that didn't evacuate, and they were calling 911, say, hey, come rescue us. And they're saying, sorry, ain't a darn thing we can do. And they drowned. It happened. So you're going to get that. You're going to get the flooding is the big thing. We lose more people from floods every year than anything else. Hey, stand by for a minute. I got to take this call real quick. So excuse me while I mute this microphone. Sorry about that. Had to take that quick call there. And hold on a second. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I run a dental temp business out of my. I do a dental temp agency out of my mic. Yeah, I muted my microphone for a minute. Sorry, there, Donovan. I get a dental temp agency, and there's so many businesses closing and stuff for tomorrow in Atlanta for no reason, because we're not going to get the worst of this until Thursday night, Friday morning. It's not during the day tomorrow. Everybody should be doing normal stuff tomorrow. It's tomorrow night, that we got to worry about and into the morning, especially across North Georgia. Just a FYI. Okay, hey, listen, if you're new to the channel, and I haven't checked this in a few minutes, I want to go ahead and check back on this. It's one of those things I have to do. We're up to 30 likes now. Hey, great. If you haven't done a like to the channel, please do so. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing that as well. We are a low mean weather YouTube channel, which means we need a little help from you guys, the viewers, to help the channel out. What that means is that you got to do some interactive stuff for us to continue to have viewers come in and come out. Right now, we've got almost 300 views on the channel since we started here at about an hour and a half ago, which is not bad for us. And we've had every one of the viewers averages about 5.5 minutes. So before you leave out of here, if you haven't subscribed, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It'd be an honor to be in your food. I do a weather daily every day. I do a daily short. I do shorts on a regular basis. Well, when it comes to hurricane season, stuff like that. And just make it part of your YouTube feed. I do tell you, and I talk about the weather nationally. No matter where you are in the country, I talk about what's going on, big picture. But it helps the YouTube algorithm out, and it allows, as you go off, it allows somebody else to come in and replace you. So I do appreciate you guys supporting the channel. All right, so we're now coming up on 6:30. All right, and thank you, Riyadh. There we go. Get those likes going. There you go. I see the likes going up. That's awesome. It's nice. Very nice. Okay, we're coming up on 6:30 here, so we're about an hour and a half. We're about halfway between the updates here, and I keep going back to my Vortex message here, and I want to see what's going on over there. And there's one thing I haven't done yet. Let's do this here. I haven't done this yet. Let's see what's going on here with Helene here. I did add this new feature here. I haven't used it yet here, and it is right here. So this is I've got a Twitter feed up here, so I can look at what's going on with Twitter, and you can see some of this video. This is coming out of the Sarasota area, some of the outer bands. I don't know really if I consider that part of the storm, but they're getting some rains there. You see some of the sandbagging going on there in Florida. You can see some of that going on there as well, as you're getting ready for the storm surge in that area. Obviously travel alert. Yeah, there's going to be a lot. I tell you, Atlanta airport's going to be a mess. And thank you for the 2 new subscribers. Thank you. Amen to you guys. Thank you. But you see all the emergency managers, they kind of get their stuff in here. There were some funny ones I saw on your Twitter as well. But when we're doing wall-to-wall tomorrow, I definitely will be using the YouTube, the Twitter feed to kind of see what kind of videos and stuff is going on out there. And that's not even that's lean. That's a midday report there. And Marlogo, just trying to see if there's anything worth a flip. Just kind of scanning through here a little bit. No, I don't know where that's from. That's kind of a good example of storm surge. If you want to see what a 20-foot storm surge looks like, that's a good one right there. And that is Chronique. Hey, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I got to move that down on this page. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. But anyway, I got that Twitter feed up, and that's to kind of go through everything there. I want to go ahead. Let's go back to, again, what to expect here. I want to go. This was a nice graphic I spent a couple hours working on this morning. It's a lot easier when you have a weather computer to do certain things. So I got to do a lot of things on my own, manufacturer-wise. So I kind of broke these down into categories. You have flooding, wind, tornadoes, surge, and power outages, all right? So flooding, very high. Florida Panhandle, all the way through Georgia, but it really extreme in northwest, as I just showed you there, across north Georgia, west North Carolina, and western South Carolina. Wind, it's going to be high, moderate to high, all the way through Georgia, all the way up through Florida. And then even beyond, going north of there, as it kind of morphs into an extratropical system. Tornadoes, specifically southeast Georgia, right along the South Carolina border in there. That's where they're enhanced area, about a 10% chance of tornadoes sitting in those areas. Storm surge, like we just said, we're talking upwards of 20 feet potentially there into the Florida, into that concave area there along the Florida coast. That's through the roof. That's automatically high. And the power outages, I got that all the way at high as well, because of the speed and the fact we're going to get hurricane force winds probably making their way at least all the way up to near metro Atlanta. I think that's a very good chance of that. So we're talking power outages for millions of people going on. Let's see, the eye is getting completely colored out of the Yucatan. Yeah, well, the center is there, Michael. It is definitely clearing on out. Let me pull you back up over here. I got to move that over to this new graphic. I have not done that. I'm learning a couple things as I've made some new graphics here. I've got to move some stuff here. So we had this question here, getting clear of the Yucatan. Yeah, the center of the circulation has cleared. We don't have a bona fide eye just yet. I think we're going to get one to form tonight, but we don't have one just yet. And thank you for that new subscriber. Thank you very much. We're at 4452. Counting down to 4,500. We might get to 4,500 tonight. We'll see. You never know. We started the day at 4417, so we're definitely moving in the right direction. So, but yeah, now that the center's moved enough away from there, the inner part of the mechanism can really bring in that latent heat into the area more effectively, okay? For some people it is. I mean, for a lot of folks that were around for Hurricane Opal in the Atlanta area, especially all the trees and everything that knocked down during that, people remember that for the rest of life. I think this one could be on par with that, especially across a big portion of Georgia. Georgia is going to be on almost, looks like it's right in the Alabama-Georgia line all the way up. The entire state's on the right quadrant of the storm. It's going to be quite catastrophic as that continues to move to the north. Getting some more text messages here. Stand by for Meg. Let me mute this for 1 second. Just trying to, again, the media is getting all up into this stuff. So people are asking, hey, are the days canceled, schools? Because schools are canceling for tomorrow, which I have no idea why across Atlanta for sure. There's no reason to cancel school tomorrow. Go to school, have a nice day. It's not going to be that bad. We got some rain around. The real weather comes in Thursday night into Friday morning. That's when things are going to go downhill. But, you know, it's amazing. Back when I went to school, heck, we used to have tornado drills and get underneath our desks and hang out in the hallway. Now, if they think there's going to be any kind of severe weather, they don't even bother. They don't go to school anymore. Where are you at there, Michael? Are you there in the Columbus area? Where exactly are you located? It all depends on the wobble. This is, again, a unique situation because of the upper level low. And my bride just came home. Thank you, Julie. How are you? How are you? How are you? Low may not be cruising as quickly as my bride. Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see about that. Again, I'm not worried about that upper level. The upper level low is what it's going to finally merge into here. So you're in Crestview. Okay. Now you're far enough to the west. You're going to be okay. You're on the left side of the storm. You're in Crestview. You'll have some gusty winds, maybe some rain, but you're going to be fine. You're in Crestview. Trust me, you're going to be fine. Pensacola, fine. You're okay. All right. Not going to say you won't see any weather, but you're not going to have to worry about any tornadoes. You're on the wrong side there. You may have some gusty winds in Crestview, maybe a little rain, but I'm not expecting anything like they're going to see on the right side. I'm going to have worse weather up my way in northeast Georgia than you're going to have it down in Crestview. Put you that way. Okay? That's what you have to worry about there. All right? So they cancel schools in the Escambia Center counties here in Florida where any accounts are on any type of warnings. Yeah, and that's tradition. What these districts will do, they'll follow their plans, and that's what they're doing. That's why they canceled their plan. If you look at this, let's go back and show you this. We were talking about this earlier. Let's go back in here. Again, looking at the, oh, you're going to mess me up now, aren't you? Oh, it's not going to let me just zoom. That's one thing I hate about that. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. My bad. That's why it's not allowing me to do it. I'm on the wrong one. Here we go. There we go. Now I can zoom. There we go. Is they're following their emergency plans, okay? So obviously, look at all the state of Georgia. We got tropical storm warnings. We got hurricane warnings up. They're automatically going to close down schools, regardless of the fact that most of tomorrow is going to be fine. But they're going to close it down anyway. So schools are going to be closed not only for tomorrow, they're going to be closed for Friday, too, as they can do the cleanup. And then, depending on how the power outage situation is going to be, it could linger into Monday. Really, there could be several days of school that might get missed out there. Snellville, Georgia. I got Monique here from Snellville, Georgia, asking about the impact. Snellville. I am located in Brazelton, so I'm not too far from the in Snellville. And I will say that right now you can expect some pretty gusty winds the way the models have been behaving with this thing. And thank you for that new subscriber, by the way. Thank you very much. 47 more to go. We got 47 to get to our 4,500 goal for the day. And so, yeah, you're going to get some very gusty winds in that area. You're going to see some heavy rains. The flooding rains are going to be a potential for that area as well. To just watch out for that. You're probably going to have some power outages. My wife has done extensive shopping, even though I already did some. Oh, good Lord. She went overboard. My wife panicked a little bit, I think, after I already bought some stuff. But she's just wanted to be ready in case we're without power for a few days. Hold on one second. I'm going to kill my wife. She just bought a bunch of crap. Oh, my God. Oh, thank you for that new subscriber, by the way. My wife just bought a bunch of crap. Oh. Welcome to my world, right? Oh, anyway. Hold on a second. She was buying she got bottled water. Yeah, we got that. So for those here in Snellville, all right, all fun and games aside here for a second. So what my wife and I did, everybody's laughing at me. Yeah, go ahead. I deserve it. Come on, y'all can laugh at me. Is the reason why I'm concerned is because, not just because of the power outages, it's the sheer number and how big of an area could potentially have power outages. It may take the crews a few days to get them up. Therefore, if you have an electric stove like I got, you can't cook nothing. No microwave, can't cook nothing. I don't have a generator, so I bought some non-perishable foods, Vienna sausages and stuff like that, things we can open out of a can and kind of, without eat bottled water. Make sure you got some water to drink in case you need that. And make sure you get some batteries. And we just went camping this past weekend, so we got batteries and we got our lights and stuff. So we're good to go there. So I'm prepared. I'm ready to go. I'm ready. If my power goes out for early Friday morning, which is potential, you're gonna be okay. Don't worry about your gas. If you got a half a tank or a full tank of gas, don't go to a gas station. I hate seeing that. You do not need to go unless you're on empty. Don't worry. You can go 2 or 3 days without filling up your tank. You're fine. Don't go fill up your gas tanks, because I know what's going to happen here in Atlanta tomorrow. This is what's going to happen. You're going to see everybody in the mother's uncle is going to be going to every dang gum grocery store and buying everything off the dang gum shelves. They're going to sit there and they're going to go gas up all their cars. There'll be gas lines. And then when this thing's over, we're going to have gas shortages all over the place because they're buying up all the fuel. So it makes me want to go to Key West right now down there. That looks pretty nice. But I know what's going to happen because it's human nature. It's human nature. We're going to get that. So we're about an hour and 20 minutes from our next update. Hour and 20 minutes from our next update. We're going to see what that pressure is going to do on the next update here to see what's going to go on with that. We're seeing some pretty good squalls there coming through Key West, but the Key West itself didn't look that bad. It looks like it's in toward the, kind of getting in toward the South Florida area there with the heavy rains. I think the Atlanta Braves game, I think what they officially called it tonight. I have no idea what the Braves are going to do. The Braves and Mets, if you're into baseball and all, the Braves and Mets are in a pennant race. They're like one game behind each other. And they were supposed to play at Truist today and tomorrow. There's no way they're going to play tonight, and there ain't no way in hell they're going to play tomorrow. So what are they going to do? The only thing I can figure is they're going to have to schedule a doubleheader on Monday to figure out who wins the division because they're not going to be able to play the next two games. And then the Friday game with Atlanta here in town, the Storm will be gone. But what's the power situation going to be like? Well, they're on the other side of town. I don't think the winds are going to be as bad over in Marietta as I'm expecting on this side of town, but they could have power problems over there. So the Atlanta Braves are cursed. They've had a very bad season. They've had so many injuries. It's frosting on the cake that they'll have a hurricane that's going to screw up the end of the season for that team. Anyway, I see we got something going on Radar Omega. Let's go back over here and check to see what's going on here. And double check. Oh, we got something going on here, South Georgia. Holy cow, look at that. Wow, that's not even associated with this storm. Not even close, but we got a tornado warning here. Radar indicated here in South Georgia. Northeast Colquitt County goes till 7 o'clock. And this was earlier. I totally missed this when we were goofing off. I apologize there. But we got a tornado warning. And we're not even into the storm yet. This is just stuff flowing out ahead of the cold front. Wow. Moving due north. Let me look at the velocity on this. And take a look here. I don't call that impressive. It's kind of about near the Norman Lake area. Look that again. Yeah, it's not that bad. Not that bad. Weak at best. I was not expecting that. Anything else I need to see? Got a couple of warnings up here. We got, they still tracking that tornado warning up here. This is so far away from the radar, though. That's getting ready to expire about 3 minutes. Severe thunderstorm warning here. 60-mile-per-hour winds out ahead of this system. That's in Northeast Carolina. All right. So look at that track, boy. Woo! Look at there. Columbus, Americas. Category 1 hurricane. 80-mile-per-hour winds. 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday. That is going to be something to watch, man. And then, of course, we got all... I will take a beer if you bring me one. I did, yeah. Bring me Oktoberfest. Those look good. See the storm chasers out here getting in the bayous and stuff. We're going to be watching the storm chasers religiously for tomorrow. This one here I'm looking at is, who's that one? That's Vince. And all these storm chasers, by the way, are out on YouTube. You can follow all their stuff when you're not watching me. But you can follow them out there. And if you want to make a donation to them, please do. These guys do a really amazing job. I've seen them out there through the entire tornado season, and they're constantly out there. And it's so great now how it's evolved over the years. I knew a storm chaser, Mike Phelps, and he used to chase back in the day, but there was no way for the public to donate to help pay for the gas and the expense of doing the job. They had to do trips with entrepreneurs that wanted to do stuff. So it's a little bit different for those guys now, to say the least. So hey, we're at 6:45. If you are new to the channel, I want to welcome you here to the Weather Nerds channel. My name is Greg. I am a former TV meteorologist, retired Army veteran. Here on the Weather Nerds channel, we're doing some wall-to-wall coverage, at least wall-to-wall warm-up. I see a couple things I'm going to need to fix before tomorrow with my interactive stuff. But we're watching the storm closely tonight as we're anticipating some rapid intensification of this storm for tonight. So before you leave, and I just want to look at my last numbers here. I want to look at my last set of numbers here. well, no, YouTube provides us, allows us to know how it is. So we're averaging about almost 6 minutes here on the viewership on folks watching tonight. We're up to 35 likes. So if you could do me a favor before you leave on out of here and you surf off some of the channel, if you could please consider subscribing to the channel, that helps with the YouTube algorithm. And then if you've already subscribed, just give a thumbs up before you leave. Not cold enough yet? I guess I'll have to live with it.
Can we just sit it in the freezer for a minute?
No, it's fine. It's all right. It's all right. All right. I mean, man, if you're going to have a hurricane party, have a hurricane party.
Did you eat dinner?
I'm fed. I'm fine right now. So anyway, we're going to be watching this close. Tomorrow, my plan is this. So tonight, I'm going to go till 8, maybe a little longer, depending on exactly what the storm is doing at the time. Tomorrow, I'm going to be back up at 8, and I'm going to go till whenever. Okay, I won't take down the feed. What I probably will do is I might take a break, say be right back, bathroom or get a bite to eat or rest the voice for a second. And thank you for that new subscriber. See, everyone helps. We only got 45 more to go. 45 more to go, and we're at the 4,500. We're going to try to do 4,500 before we close this broadcast today. That would be nice. So we're going to try to get to 4,500. Tomorrow we'll go on wall to wall, and we're going to continue to go on there from now. Subscribe to replenish the Wi-Fi. Now, I don't make enough money on here to subscribe for that. I would be happy to get big enough subscriber base and enough viewers that would actually just cover my subscriptions to Radar Omega, my model data, and that is Flack MP. Flack MP, hey, welcome to the channel there, Flack. Good to see you. But that's what I love. I would love to just get big enough, just enough to support my subscriptions, because I pay a lot of money out of my own pocket to keep this thing going. But it's what I love to do. I love doing this. This is fun for me. I don't like having fun at the expense of people's lives. That's kind of the double-edged sword of being a weather guy. But the big thing about being a meteorologist and being a weather guy is always seeing something you've never seen before. And this, my friends, right now is something I've never seen before. I've never seen it. To see this kind of setup between a hurricane, a frontal system, an upper level low, they're all going to merge together, all the dynamics that go with this type of system, I've never seen it. Just like we had earlier in the season with our B-name storm that became a Category 5 in July. Never saw that before. I mean, so it's always different, always changing, and it does provide the challenge of trying to forecast what's going to happen with a system and stuff. And there's my daughter real quick. So, hey, Ashley, I got you on speakerphone, and you are on my broadcast live right now.
Hi, I was calling to ask a weather question.
My daughter's calling for a weather question. Well, Ashley, what is your weather question?
I was on the phone with my sister, and she said she had to conserve her phone battery because her power went out. So I wanted
Already? Her power went out already? That's not even associated with...
That's another story.
That's another story. That has nothing to do with... So apparently my daughter, who's in Atlanta right now, says the power is out in her place. She lives in the Buckhead area, right near Buckhead, not too far from there, in an apartment there, and she's out without power already. See? Already. We're not even talking about the hurricane already.
Come on over.
So that's Ashley was checking. Madeline was all right. So
I just wanted to make sure that you guys were good. If
no,
it
we're
was
fine.
power
We're okay.
now-
No power outages here. We're good to go.
No, that's a whole nother
Okay,
story.
that's good.
All right. Bye, Ashley.
Love you.
Okay.
All right.
Love you.
We'll probably lose our power tomorrow, Friday morning. Bye.
Bye, broadcast.
Bye-bye. That's my daughter. My daughter Ashley lives out in California. We're going to go out and see her sometime in October. We're going to go out there and see her. And she's got a little fashion show we're going to do. And then we're going to go to Vegas and then the Grand Canyon and bring my other daughter with me. It'll be the last family vacation. My daughters are 23 and 22. So they're both doing very well. They're both work pretty hard and stuff. You know what? I'm getting close. I think I might need to switch. I think I need to switch batteries real quick. This is my my microphone here, so I'm going to switch my batteries here real quick. I'm going to swap my batteries real quick here. Get that back in there. Hold on a second. There we go. Yeah, new microphone. Yeah, I've been talking on this one for a while, so I decided to go ahead and swap them out. So again, thank you for the new subscribers and stuff. I'm pounding up my microphone there. Sorry about that. Back that down just a little bit. Kimberly Belfield is watching from Columbus on the Facebook. Hey, Kimberly, good to see you there. Welcome on board.
Do you need to keep this package for your dad? You need this paper in case to return
Yes, please
something?
do. Just leave it.
I'm going to leave it right here on this table.
Anyway, let's take a look here. I want to take a look here. Again, if you're just kind of joining us and you want to see what the latest here on Francine, let's go and bring up the last update here real quick. Come on, zoom this back out. This was the 5 o'clock advisory. I can tell you that the pressure is down a little bit from that 5 o'clock advisory. It was at 978 millibars. It's down to 975 right now. So it's come down a little bit. Continue to move north at about 12 miles per hour. So you kind of see that general trend there taking up toward the Florida Big Bend. All that red area, that is your hurricane warnings that are up basically from Panama City to just right near Tampa. Look at what's interesting is look where the tropical storm warnings go all the way around the Keys of Florida and all the way up the coast. That's because this is a big hurricane. Not so much strength, but the size. The tropical storm force winds go about 250 miles across this thing. So they're expecting tropical storm wind conditions up the eastern seaboard, even up into South Carolina. So that's going to be a bit of an onshore problem, easterly wind as the low goes by. So in by 1 o'clock in the morning, you've got a Central Time, 2 o'clock Eastern, coming there pretty close to near Columbus, Georgia there. See, we got a little alert going on here on Radar Omega. Let's take a look what's going on over here at Radar Omega. We got another tornado warning. Wow, let's go look at this. So let's go over to Radar Omega here. Let me switch over. Stand by here for a second. Let's go to Radar Omega here, and we're going to talk about this new warning that just came out here, not too far from the Tifton area. And this is observed. We got an observed tornado. Wow, first one. Not even associated with, this is not associated with the hurricane. That just shows you how weird this thing is. So we got a tornado warning here in north central Colquitt, southwestern Tiff, and southeastern Worth County. Confirmed tornado was located near Norman Park or 11 miles northeast of Moultrie. I'm familiar with that area. I used to work down that way. Moving north at 15. Law enforcement, confirmed tornado. Georgia Highway Patrol reported a tornado on the ground just a few minutes ago. So we got an observed tornado on the ground. Let's look at the velocity mode on this. Can't see it. We're probably too far. That's on that radar scan. Let's see. Whatever it is probably weak. So just checking the scans here. I can't see it. All right, so it's probably rain wrapped on top of that, but that particular radar down there in South Georgia is not seeing it very well. But they did report tornado on the ground. It just kind of shows you we're getting spin in the atmosphere this far away, probably because of the flow coming in out of the south and the interaction of that frontal boundary, which is not too far away. But we got a tornado warning already here in South Georgia, and we're not even to the crux of it, folks. We're not even there yet. Tomorrow night, man, that's going to be a lot of fun watching how this thing goes down. Yeah, some pretty heavy rains with this. So let's look at the rainfall totals. Just here the last kind of the rates here. Just 1 hour totals here. Just quite a bit of heavy rain. Pretty good heavy rates. Let's look at the storm totals here. Yeah, look at that. Pretty heavy rains there across near Thomasville. Just shows you how moisture-laden the area is. Over 2-3 inches of rain. Again, not directly associated with a hurricane yet, folks. That's what makes this thing so interesting. So that tornado warning there, again, observed, goes for another 22 minutes, which is probably true because these things don't usually last that long. And I didn't catch that last subscriber. We're up to 45 more to go. All right. That was, yeah, Flab Camp. I did see that one. Okay. So we got these heavy rains here, again, coming back over toward Columbus. This rain's been kind of training over for a while now, and this continues all the way up into metro Atlanta. I'm just kind of jumping between the radar sites. Pretty much steady rain here going right through downtown Atlanta and up my neck of the woods. If you want to get an idea where I live right up here. See where all those counties come together right there? That is where I live, right there. In fact, all 4 of those counties come through my neighborhood. So that's where I'm at right now. Let's look at the rainfall totals here so far across North Georgia. I haven't looked at that in a hot minute. And wow, yeah, getting some pretty hefty rains. Look at these rains down here near Columbus. Woo! Already, folks, look at this. 4 inches plus near the Auburn area. A lot of 4-inch totals here near Harris County, going up into Meriwether County, Troup County. Over 4 inches there north of LaGrange. And then you got steady here, just 2 inches rain totals here. A lot of Gwinnett County already. Hall County, 2 inches of rain. Going up to Lumpkin County, we're looking at 3.5 inches of rain there. You can tell I used to work in the market because I can call out the counties, right? Over near Rome, over 3 inches there as well. So, man, this is just setting it up. Really setting this thing up for when this thing gets on board right now. We do got one tornado warning there, a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. You can see my count down below, so that does update regularly. Yes, Rita, I appreciate you too there, man. Star Maria Trasher was wondering where that tornado was. It's down near Moultrie there, okay? Right down here. Here's that purple box. It doesn't show up very well on the radar. I was looking at the Valdosta radar. That is an older radar, unfortunately. It's not one of the newer ones. And I can tell because it's a little pixelated. It's not as smooth there. Let's see here. Let's do a volume scan on this here. See how high this is. Nope. There we go. I'm going to go zoom in a little close. Doing a 3D scan here. Let me see here. Let's see. This stuff is not... Let's see. No, that's actually a little bit starting on what I thought. Like about 30,000 feet. That's not too bad. Doing a little 3D scan here on that cell. You kind of see that. That's the tornadic cell dead center that you can see right there in front of you. So close that out. Yeah, lots of rain in Troup County, that's for sure. But this is over near Mulchigan, a little closer here. Scootersville, Powelltown, Pine Mountain area. There's definitely some roads in here. This is definitely a lot of country in here. Hopefully nobody got any trouble. There's probably a lot of mobile homes out this part of Georgia too. This is just south or to the south and west of Tifton. So at least it didn't go through town. So go back to reflectivity on this here. And I tell you, this area here is going to be main concern. I want to show this again if you haven't seen this already. And let me go to my severe here. Let's go down. Severe outlook. Okay, so right there, so that part of Florida, again, from Tampa over toward the Space Coast, up toward to basically the South Carolina, North Carolina fault line. That whole yellow, that's in that slight risk for severe weather. The orange is bullseye for a lot of potential tornadoes in that lock zone right there. So as I go to my interactive here, let me pull up these the two specifics on this. So again, here's your tornado parameter. That yellow, that's 10% chance of tornadoes. The brown is a 5%, and the green is the 2%. So always the right side of the landfall and hurricane, that's where you look for that. And even wind damage, which is wind damage in the storm prediction is not directly associated with the hurricane. It's more like severe thunderstorm type winds with some of the outer spiral bands. You can see some of that wind damage potential there in South Carolina, North Carolina as well. So we put this back on the category here. But that is going in for tomorrow and going into Friday morning. So we got a new warning here flashing out here. Where's that one at? See, we're getting a couple of these warnings here over in the Carolinas here. I think this is the new one. How was that issued here? 6:45. No, that's not it. Heard the alert tone. Scanning. Last time I had one down south that popped up on me. Let me go back to Radar Omega here. Sorry about that. Just kind of scanning here as I'm looking to see any warnings. Didn't see that one. And I'm still watching this one down here. Boy, they're getting some. That's a pretty deep. Those are some pretty good gully washers. I tell you that. Very good signature here showing up there. Harris County here, a lot of rain. Yep, you're definitely seeing a lot of rain there. Lots of rain in Troup County. Hey, it is coming up on the 7 o'clock hour, and welcome to the Weather Nerds channel. I'm your host, Greg Majeski, your personal weatherman, as we're kind of doing this. We'll call this the warm-up before the main act for tomorrow. As we're watching the latest here on our developing hurricane, which is expected to see significant growth overnight. Now, we just crossed the 400 view threshold here for tonight. So again, I thank you for that. If you could help me out, if you're just passing through on the channel right now, we're up to 41 likes, which is great. Before you leave, please leave a like down there. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel and you'd like to be part of the coverage for tonight, as well as the wall-to-wall coverage we'll be doing tomorrow, you can do that and put on there. Do know that I have the chats in both Facebook and YouTube up. I can have the ability to pull up anybody's question, and we can talk about it, answer your questions, and anything you may have concerned about. So we're a small channel, so it allows me the opportunity to do one-on-one with each one of you guys where you're watching. If you're sitting there at home and like I do with my remote and just kind of sailing on through, I can answer your question that way. Or if you're on your mobile device and you look on your phone, you can look on there as well. But I do appreciate you guys supporting the channel. And I do want to thank M.H. Andrews, who just made a $1.99 donation. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Notice how any donations or any of the tips that go back to the channel, I do not spend it for me. It goes strictly to produce the best product for you guys. Absolutely. I got a couple questions here. We got Stacy, Opelika tomorrow. More rain for you there, Stacy. But the real stuff will be coming in late at night. I think you're going to be far enough. You're on the left side of the hurricane there, Stacy. So that's typically the weaker side of the storm. And you're still going to see some heavy rains. Not going to rule that out. And you might see some gusty winds. I think maybe up to 50 miles per hour. But I think you're going to be okay at Opelika. But the rain is going to continue tonight and into tomorrow, as you're kind of already seeing there on the radar there already. And you can kind of see again, Auburn got a lot of rain earlier. It looks like you're starting to get a little bit of a break now as we kind of look in toward the Auburn, Opelika area. And thank you for that new subscriber. Thank you very much. Hey, only 43 more to go, and we'll get to our 4,500 goal. Yes. But it looks like Opelika, you may get a bit of a break in the rain. We got Sherry R. Boyd in Noonan asking a question. What about Noonan? Well, Noonan, it's what's interesting about Noonan is, again, we'll go in toward Noonan here. Let's get down here towards south. There's Noonan. And this is the track of our storm right through here. Here's Noonan. So you're obviously on the right side. So whatever's left of the core of the hurricane winds will be blowing up that way. The potential for some hurricane gusts, could not rule it out for Noonan. You're on the right side of that storm at the track. Now, if the track is over here and you're on the left side, maybe it's not quite as bad. But we're talking tens of miles here. So Noonan, you're going to see some gusty winds and some heavy rains. The big thing for me is I think a lot of Metro Atlanta is going to have power outages, especially if I was going to say where I thought the highest storm power outages are going to be, probably in that zone right through there. And of course down to the south, obviously with South Albany, probably going to get a lot of power outages. Valdosta, heading up 75 up toward Macon, obviously going to see a lot because there's going to be on the right side of that center. Star Marie Thrasher is asking in Columbus, how bad will it get the night into tomorrow? Tonight, not bad. You're okay tonight. And thank you for that new subscriber. I always like to thank every new subscriber to the channel when my Streamlabs does not acknowledge it. I've never quite figured that out. Anybody use Streamlabs? Streamlabs is a great service. It allows me to do the interactive stuff that I'm doing with you guys now. But it doesn't alert for every new subscriber. Sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. It might be because you're on a mobile device. Maybe you got to be on a computer. Not exactly sure. But here we go. We got a new scan coming in here. Let's watch the scan here across Atlanta here and see if that's going to change much. I don't think so. Doesn't appear to be. Just a little bit. Got a new warning come out. Where'd that come out? Oh, this is going on out west. Nope. And thank you for that new subscriber. Thank you very much. 4458, 42 more to go, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not worried about the folks out west. Washington State's apparently getting a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Yeah, it's not going to be bad tonight in Columbus. Columbus tonight, you're okay, all right? Not expecting any big problems here. Let me switch over to the Atlanta radar here. In fact, it looks like you're getting going into Columbus right now. You just got some rain to the south through Muskogee County, but it looks like you should get a little bit of a break there kind of coming in. Oop, got an alert there. Oh, got 2 new subscribers came in there. Bing, bing. Boy, y'all are awesome. That was a different alert tone. I hadn't heard that one before. That was a little bit different. And I think someone hit the tip jar. Oh, you hit the tip jar. Oh, okay. Hey, thank you. See, I don't even know all the stupid bells and whistles of the of the Streamlabs, but I'm learning. I'm getting better. Yeah. Thank you, Blendon. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Like I said, I put every dollar back into the channel. And like I said, if you go back and look at my stuff back like last October, and you see what I was doing then, and you look at this presentation now, and you're going, wow, he's come a long way. You know, the big thing is I've learned, you know, you watch some of the, I know a lot of y'all are familiar with the Ryan Hall's product, and he was a former TV meteorologist like myself, and he saw a need before anybody else. Nobody was doing weather out on YouTube, say 3 or 4 years ago. Nobody was really using it. You get some passive stuff from TV stations, but nobody was doing it. Then he did it, and boy, it just took off. Now every dang TV station in the country sees it because he was stealing viewers from him to watch him. So, but yeah. Reader, you're saying schools in Troup County are closed for the rest of the week. Yeah, they're doing that because they're following their emergency plans because the fact that they've got these tropical storm warnings and hurricane warnings in the state. So they're going to follow that, and they're going to bring it down. So even though I'll be honest with you, there's no reason for schools to be out for tomorrow, especially North Georgia, Atlanta. There's no reason. Everybody could have gone to school, come back home, would have been just fine. Because the worst of this weather is going to be coming in tomorrow night. Landfall is not even expected until 7, 8 o'clock, and then it'll race inland as we head toward the morning hours. But I guess they just didn't want to have anything out there to happen that'll cause a problem. So, hey, we're up to 30 new, but see, this happens every time. This is a good illustration, folks. Again, when I was just telling you about with the product here. The more you guys interact, and this stuff is for you, this is y'all's product. Okay, this is y'all's stuff. And we got another new subscriber. Thank you very much. Every time I see the subscribers start to go up and the likes go up, my viewership goes up with it. That's how the YouTube algorithm works. It works based off y'all's activity. All right. Now, the Ryan Halls of the world, they've got 2 million plus subscribers. They don't have to worry about that because it comes automatically for them. They don't have to worry about it. But for me as a small YouTuber, I have to ask to get it done if I don't do it. Let me give you an idea, folks. Back in end of April, I was first kind of doing my live coverage and stuff, and I was getting very frustrated. And it wasn't until one event when I started doing some things, asking, and I was like, oh, I get it. Oh, that's it. Little light went off. You got a turnover every 6 minutes. If you don't ask the viewers, you guys, to do certain things like with the comments and the likes and the subscribes, if that don't happen, the YouTube algorithm says, you're done. I'm not going to direct my little blurb into somebody else's feed as they're going through the night coverage. So thank you again, deeply from my heart. And thank you for that big donation. Trust me, it goes to the channel. And by the way, everybody who has subscribed tonight, I made this promise months ago when we were struggling, that when we got to 5,000 subscribers, I'm giving away 8 free NOAA weather radios. So when we do get to 5,000, I want to have my daughters go into my subscriber list, and we're just going to pick 8 random winners, and then I'll reach out to you guys and make content, and I'm going to give away 8 radios. So, and that's basically from the dollars and money that what little monetization money I made here with YouTube to buy those radios. So I will still do that. That's a promise. All right, we got some questions here. I have a daughter in Merrill County, but I'm in Harris County trying to decide if we should just stay put. Yes, stay put. There was nowhere else for you to go. Just know that you might have some power outages. Just make sure. Here's the big thing, folks. If you're anywhere in this stuff, and I got to take down my fall decorations outside. I got to do that tomorrow morning. I'm going to do that. Fall decorations, get them inside. You don't want it to be blown down the street, blown into your car, blown in your house, cause damage. Bring it inside. Trash cans, bring them in. Umbrellas off your back porch, bring those in. Anything that can get blown into some neighbor's yard and stuff like that, bring all that stuff in. You got to be prepared for anything that'll come up because these gusts will come out of this. And it really does sound like a bit of a freight train. If you've ever been in a hurricane and you hear these big gusts of wind, you can hear it coming off from miles away. And not the same as a tornado, but you kind of get the sense they got a rolling big gust of wind that's coming your way. There's a lot of trees here in Georgia. There's going to be a lot of pine trees in Georgia that are going to come down because of these winds. So we're going to have a lot of power outages. Now, one thing that oh, yes, good call, Janelle. Trampolines. I don't know what you can do with that. I don't know if you could anchor them down, take them down, turn them on their side, trampolines. God knows I've seen that happen before. Get blown over into a neighbor's yard. Trampolines, absolutely. Good call there, Janelle. Hey, Sandy, how you doing? Oh, thank you for that new subscriber there. Thank you. Sandy remembers me from my broadcast days in Columbus. Well, thank you for subscribing to the channel, Sandy. Thank you very much for coming on board. I am the only TV meteorologist to ever work in all 3 stations in the Columbus market. I started at Channel 9. I did 3 years there. People ask, well, why did you leave? It wasn't my choice. It wasn't that I was bad or I did anything wrong. It was that the news director at the time, who was a complete and utter moron and an idiot, I'll say that right now, and I don't care, he wanted a weekend morning show. Corporation at the time was Raycom, which is not owned by them anymore, said, well, we're sorry, we're not going to give you any money. If you want a weekend show, you're going to have to find it in your budget. So his idea for budget was, well, I'm paying this experienced weather guy doing my mornings too much money. I can get the weekend girl to do it for $15,000 less. I'm just not going to re-sign him. So I wasn't re-signed, I was let go. And at that point, because of my age and what I was doing with my daughters, I said, you know what? I'm a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserves. I'm going back on active duty. And I went on active duty and I played that out until I retired, which was last year. But during that time, when I left Channel 9, I worked at WRBL in Columbus. I was a freelancer there, and I freelanced there up until last year. And what happened there, the morning person there, she had a couple of kids and she didn't want to do it anymore. So she became their freelancer because she lived local. I'm 2.5 hours away from Columbus. So she stayed and she took over there. And then when I was there in 2017, after a deployment, I tore my labrum of my left hip and I had to have hip surgery in Columbus at Fort Benning, which is now Fort Moore. And I freelanced at the TV station at WLTZ, which no longer exists, but they did at the time have a news product, and I did weather there. So I worked at all 3 TV stations in the Columbus market at some point or another. So anyway, thank you, Sandy. I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate you guys watching me and stuff. I still talk a little bit with the 2 chiefs down there, Derek, and I was actually texting Bob Giswald down there earlier today. So I still chat with those guys from time to time. So anyway, coming up on 7:15 again. Thank you for all those new subscribers. We just added another 4 there here in the mix. Before you guys do leave, again, checking my matrix here. Got to always check on this. We're still holding true. We're holding about 6 minutes on our viewership here for tonight. So again, before you leave, we're up to 43 likes right now. So if you could please just go ahead and give me a thumbs up there. That helps the algorithm out. And if you haven't subscribed, again, please consider it. It'd be an honor. Just know that I don't just do the live broadcast. I do a daily forecast when I'm working from home. I do one every morning. It's a big picture, national picture. I kind of let you know what the weather's going on across the country, what to expect coming up. And I do this in a way. My mantra is I'm your personal weatherman, and I give you the weather without the social media hype. And I'm going to tell you, that's the one thing that I've been having a real hard time with. And I'm not going to name anybody. I'm not going to do that. That's just not professional. But I will say this. There are some YouTubers out there that don't know what they're talking about. There's some out there that will take every storm, everything that's out there, and promote it as the end of the world. And they do that to get the clicks, likes, and subscribes. As much as I want to build my audience, I refuse to do that. I just won't. I understand the whole idea of doing a good YouTube thumbnail and you want somebody to come watch you. I try to balance that as best I can because I do want to, grow the audience, because this is what it's about. It's about serving you guys. For me, whether it be me wearing my military uniform or being a weatherman, it's always about serving the community and serving you guys at home. So for me, that's what it's about. But I'm not willing to do it at the expense of my credibility. I will not do it. Now, for this particular storm, I'm not saying anything that my fellow weather colleagues out in the business have been talking about, that this has every potential to be an historic storm. Storm surge, very high. Flooding potential, very high. We're actually getting a little bit of tropical enhanced moisture coming into that frontal system right now from some of the blow off from this hurricane. Tornado risk, pretty moderate, not bad looking. So we're looking at an historic potential storm here again. I made this nice graphic. If you haven't seen this before, I'm going to show it to you again. This is your what to expect graphic here. Flooding, wind, tornadoes, surge, and power outages. Power outages and surge are going to be through the roof. Surge along the Florida coast, power outages from Florida up through Georgia especially, quite significant. Flooding potential, very high, especially for the North Georgia mountains. Orographic lift, the angle at which the center is coming in at, and the amount of moisture that's already falling in the area, flooding I think is going to be quite high. Post-storm, downriver, Chattahoochee River, Savannah River, Etowah River, some of these rivers through Georgia, they're going to be out. They're going to be flooding. They're going to be coming out of their banks. You're going to watch into that, okay? Tornado risk, we already talked about that. Again, especially over towards Savannah, Charleston, down there across Florida, Jacksonville, down toward Tampa. That area could look at potential tornadoes. So this is going to be a significant storm. What we're waiting on here for tonight, and we're only about 45 minutes here from a new update coming from the National Hurricane Center, is to see exactly here. I'm going to go to the rapid update here, more tight end look here. Waiting to see if we're going to get any kind of indication of an eye starting to form. And thank you for that new subscriber. Thank you very much. Trying to see if there's any indication of an eye starting to form on the system. Not seeing it yet. Let me see. I've not looked at the vortex message just yet. Let's look at the vortex message, see if we got a new one there coming. And just going to do a rehash there. Nope, that's still the old one. Now, I got lucky when I caught it the last time. I caught it like right when it came out. Boom. Yeah. Kind of watching y'all's chats going on here on YouTube. Divine Separation. Hey, how are you? You're very welcome. Katie's asking, should we leave Columbus? No. You're on Facebook. I would say no need to leave Columbus. You're on the left side of the storm. If you're going to leave Columbus, go to Montgomery, I guess, if you wanted to. If you just not, but the potential for power outages is definitely there. I think we'll have a better idea tomorrow. I mean, the further west you go, again, you're on the left side of the storm, the better it's going to be for you. But Columbus, I would say power outages, not out of the question. I still think 50-mile-per-hour winds is probably about the best, but you can get some pine trees to go down with that. Absolutely. So let's take a live look down toward Key West there. I'm surprised it's still showing the sun up there a little bit. It was a pretty good squall down there earlier. It's getting kind of late. That sun should be getting lower down there. So we got something going on here, the alert on the Weather Omega site. Let's go back to Weather Omega here. And we just crossed 500 viewers today. Hey, thanks, guys. we just crossed 500 here in the last little over 2 hours. If you hear my cat, I apologize. I got an old cat, and if he doesn't get his attention at night, he is a little vocal. Let's see, I just heard a warning come out. Where'd that come out? Just seeing here, make sure we have nothing down here. And I see that warning. I think it must be this one over Carolina. Ooh, that's a pretty good cell. No, that can't be it. It's out west, isn't it? Yep. So you got these clusters of these storms out here in Idaho. Sorry, not paying attention to Idaho tonight. Sorry. We're getting some weather out there, but just want to make sure that it doesn't deviate. Let's see if any of these chasers are still broadcasting at all. Let's take a look here. Brad is not. He is not broadcasting. And Hall Force 1. Oh, that's one of the Godfather. I'm surprised his camera's open. He usually doesn't have it open for everybody. That is Ryan Hall, if y'all are familiar with that guy. He is okay. Not my take, but he's okay. He's got a good product. He's got a good routine, and it works very well for him. The problem with Ryan is now that's his job. That is his livelihood. Everything he does for that channel, he's got staff, he's got support, it's a business now for him. And that's good. It provides for his family. He's got a young family and everything else like that. Me, this is my passion. This is my, for me, it's not to pay my bills or doing like that. This is just to kind of produce a good product to keep you guys entertained to some degree. You got to be entertained a little bit, right? So I don't mind poking fun at myself. I don't mind laughing at myself. I will admit when I'm wrong. But for me, it's about engagement, weather passion, and really kind of giving you guys the best possible product and outlook. Now, I'm hoping eventually if we can grow our product, our subscription, I suspect I need to get my subscriber base over about 10,000 to perhaps get a partnership with Radar Omega. Radar Omega is the software program that you're seeing right here. They're based here in Atlanta. And I'm hoping if I get a sponsorship with them, they'll let me be a beta tester for them. I used to do beta testing for the weather companies that the TV stations use, and I hope to do it here for these guys so I give them some feedback and stuff like that. So let me go here and let's go back here to the satellite imagery here. And I keep looking at this, and what I'm looking for, I want you to get an idea of what I'm looking here. Again, you see these brighter cloud tops down here. You see that. Those are the colder the cloud tops, the higher the thunderstorm tops, right? All right, so the center of circulation is right here, but you're still looking at what appears to be a little bit of dry air, and you can see it there where in here, getting into circulation center. So we're not getting a dense CDI. I was really surprised that the Weather Service upped the strength forecast to 130 miles per hour landfall, barely Cat 4, when it gets out into the Gulf. But we'll see. I've seen these things rapidly intensify big time at night before. They traditionally happen sometimes at night. But right now, looking at the satellite imagery, I don't see that happening yet. Okay, it probably will happen here as we go through the next several hours. So, again, thank you for all the new subscribers. Oh, but the number, oh God, we're up to almost 50 now, or well, not quite 50, 46 new subscribers today. That's awesome. Thank you very much for subscribing here to the channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And before you leave, just hit that thumbs up like button. Helps the YouTube algorithm. It's amazing to me how that is so connected. I don't understand YouTube. Sometimes it doesn't make any sense to me. But every time the subscriber numbers start to go up, my concurrent viewer numbers go up. When the subscriber numbers don't go anywhere or the likes don't go, it's down, it starts to fall. So because it's natural turnover, you get a turnover every 6 minutes. Let's look at now. One thing here, this here is Tampa, Florida. Tampa is going to be in the next line on this thing because the outer bands are going to be going through that area. I want to go look at my model data here real quick. Let me get this up. I want to see if the 18Z should be coming in or getting close to coming in here. There it is. There's the 18Z. Your 18Z European came in finally. I've been waiting on this one. So let me switch this over here. I want to look at the... Hold on one second. I'm going to bring this over to you in just 1 second here. It looks like it's just now getting in here. Showing, okay, 9:58, and boy, that's moving quick. Wow, that's a 6-hour jump. Oh, it's missing some data. I see. It's missing some data. I can't really show that. But let's take a look here. Let's look at the NAM. Let me look at that real quick. We'll pull up a different radar here. 18Z was going to a little bit to the east there. So I'm looking at the model data here again, just kind of looking at the, I was waiting on the European to come in earlier, but it was a little slow coming in. It looks like it's missing a little bit of data. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's go back over here. So this is the NAM model. I was mentioning that the NAM, which is showing, it's like 954, looks like, coming up through there. It looked like it was a little bit further to the east. And thank you for the hand wave there. Yeah, I'm scrolling down there. Oh, Jermaine was asking, should you evacuate? No, I don't think you need to worry about evacuating. Just if you're in Columbus, just make sure you got some batteries in case your power knocks out for a little while, and make sure you got some non-perishables. There's no need to evacuate. Now, if you're not comfortable and you want to evacuate, if I was going to tell you which way to go to Montgomery. Just head west. Definitely don't head east. Go west, and you'll be fine. No, they're not. No, they're fine, Julie. The peanut gallery, known as my wife's, chiming in. Ooh, I'm gonna get in trouble for that. Let me go to the European here. I wanted to show the European model. This is the 18Z European, but it looks like it's missing a little bit of data. But look at the heavy rains that are falling there across North Georgia into the Carolinas. That's just with the frontal system. And then it makes that big jump. I don't know why we're missing some data there, but it looks like they're missing some data. But you see the landfall there. It looks like 958 millibars there on that. And this is going to come up into North Georgia. 978. That's hurricane force winds, man. That's right over me. That's right over me, 8 o'clock in the morning, pretty close to where I'm located there on the European model. Again, you're looking at two different entities. Again, look at, here's our tropical system. Here's our upper low interacting with each other. But quite a bit of stuff. And let me look at the precipitation totals here. Whew, man, that's just terrible. That's a lot. Let's look at let me go into the individual states again. Let's look at Georgia, specifically going a little bit tighter. Look at these rainfall totals here. And this is going to be totality of everything that's falling now, plus what's coming. I really think these are underdone a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. I think one thing when it comes to tropical rains, they tend to underestimate by about 20% on the rainfall totals. Now, some of these totals up here in North Georgia, this is going up near 12 and 14 inches up here across some of these mountains across North Georgia. That is quite a bit through there. Quite a bit of stuff. Let's go check out the Twitter feed. I ain't done that in a little bit. Let's go and take a look at the Twitter feed here a little bit. Let's look at that. I'll pull up let's look at Twitter here. And let's see if I get an update here. I like to look at Twitter every now and then just to see if there's been anything that people might be reported, things we might have missed and stuff. So I'm just going to scroll through here real quick. You can look with me there on your right side there. Cozumel, there's some video from Cozumel. That's down where the storm was earlier. Seeing some of the wind and surf down there. Everybody's kind of watching here. All these schools and stuff are closing. Just a lot of stuff. Oh, look at that. Let's see here. I think tomorrow we're going to have a lot more activity. What's about the Braves here? Upcoming games between the New York Mets have been postponed due to weather concerns with Hurricane Helene, leading to a doubleheader scheduled for Monday in Atlanta. It's official. Knew that was what was going to happen. So the Braves and the Mets, who are in the middle of a pennant race, are going to play a doubleheader on Monday, which is the day after the end of the season ends. Oh, boy. The winner takes all. And the Braves are one game behind, so they got to stay there. Oh, boy. Let's go back over to the rain radar here. I was wondering about that. This, by the way, is the camera. Now it's getting a little bit dark out there, but this is the camera near, I called it. I did call it. Yes, I did. I said they were going to play. There had to be a doubleheader sometime. This is the camera near St. George Island. St. George Island is being evacuated. This is right there off the tip of Apalachicola, pretty close to where the center is going to be. I don't think they're going to get the worst of the storm surge. I think it's going to be over to the right, but they're not going to take any chances there. So I don't know how long we're going to have this camera tomorrow, but I'm definitely going to use it. I'm going to definitely use it and make sure we see what it shows us there. So we're 37 more subscribers to get to 4,500. We're knocking on the door there. So if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, come on. It's real easy. If you're on your phone, go there and hit, subscribe. There, I'm done. And if you're on the remote, you hit your little remote control there, sit in the TV, you hit the thing, you go over, and then you, do it on your remote. That's what I do. Anyway, let's go back to Radar Omega, hearing that alert tone again. Let's take a look at what's going on over here. I keep checking the alerts just to make sure there's nothing in the immediate. It looks like this one's up into the Carolinas. It's a pretty good hefty thunderstorm there. Rotation with that one. Possible tornado there. Western Ashe County, southwestern Grayson County goes till 8:30. Storm is located near Trout or near Todd, moving north at 25. So, again, that's that frontal system. It's been active there all day today. And they're having that rain again falling over the same spot. It's training moving north to south. So that will be something that be, again, falling rain on areas that will be coming into earlier. Let's see some of these towers here, see some of the rain, see some of that rain falling in that area. One thing I will say, which is good, let me show you this real quick. I didn't fail to mention that. You see all these little dots and stuff across North Georgia? These are all cameras when they're working. There you go. Well, that's definitely not a live shot. That looks like it's too late for that, I don't think. Well, what is live? Okay, I guess we got that much light out there. But these cameras out here will be a good view for me to look and see what conditions are doing across North Georgia. Don't have any cameras down in the Columbus area. This is the furthest south one here is in Rockdale County. But I'll be able to pull up all these cameras, especially as we go into late night, into the early morning hours to see how things are going. At least see what we can see, right? So let me go back to the regional radar here. And again, you're seeing those outer bands there kind of working their way. Now I'm kind of getting into the Miami area. So Miami, Fort Lauderdale, some of these outer feeder bands are starting to move up into South Florida right now. We're about 30 minutes from the next update. So while I've got that up real quick, let me go back to the radar or the satellite here. And I want to take a look here at, look at the aircraft recon. Stand by real quick while I do a little homework here while I'm looking. All right, we got MOAA. All right, okay. So the NOAA 2 missions out there right now. Mission number 13 in Helene. They're in the storm right now. So they're kind of inbound right now. Looking at their messages here. Okay, they're just doing their pattern right now. So hopefully we get an idea what the new pressure reading, if we'll get one before the 8 o'clock advisory. We'll see. Or sometimes they'll put it in after the fact, but we'll see. They only got 30 more minutes. And they have been in and around the circulation, but I don't see the drop sound. Oh, there's a 9.6. Is that not? No, that's not 9.65. Nah, that's not that. I'm just kind of looking. Let me double check something here. Let's look at the close in. Hey, Rita. It's trying to form, but it's not set there yet. And what you're seeing there on north is not the eye. That's a little drier intrusion, I think. I don't think that's the eye actually forming. Good night, Rita. We'll see y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. And Kathy said, could the track still shift? Oh, it could always still shift. It can always still shift. I don't favor it shifting any more toward the west. I do favor a little more shift toward the east. Just my look right now. So I still think that's possible. That it might shift. Right now, it riding up and down the line there is probably the best. Let me see here. Again, this was the last 18Z here. Let me show you this real quick here. I'm going to shift on down here. So there you see the track there, Rita. I mean, so it's definitely like extreme West Georgia riding right on up. But again, this is going to be a big storm, folks. Again, the tropical storm force winds are 250 miles across this thing. So Alabama, Georgia, Florida, all the way up to the Carolinas. You see how it makes that turn back to the left as it gets absorbed in the center of circulation. The reason why it's doing that track, it's going up this way and then turning in because it's going to get sucked into that upper low as that goes in there. That's what's causing that. Now, in about roughly around 9 or so, we might get late enough to start seeing the 0Z stuff start to come in a little bit later. So that's that one. This is the last strength one. This was the 18Z. We got a cluster of these getting up to Cat 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 models that went up that way. I think that's why the Hurricane Center decided to take it to 130. So let me take that down there. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave that up. Oop. So we shall see how that works out. That's called Tennessee. All right, let's go back here to the watches warnings again. Again, you can see all the flash flood watches are covering part of Alabama, all of Georgia, all of Florida Panhandle and stuff. Even if they're I know the reds supersede everything because you got tropical storm warnings, hurricane warnings up, covering a pretty good coverage area there. I mean, so you got these are hurricane warnings right down through here, through Georgia, much of the Florida Panhandle. Seeing a lot of that stuff right there. So my pappy's calling on the phone. Hey, Dad, you're on my broadcast. What you want? I'm broadcasting live right now, and they hear you.
Oh, hey, how's it going? I'm just trying to ask you something about my appointment tomorrow.
Your appointment's at 10 o'clock.
Okay, do you have the address?
I texted to you. You got it. The address is in your text.
No, we send it because I can't find it.
Okay, I'll send it to you again before the morning.
All right.
All right. Bye, Dad. My dad is a Vietnam veteran. He lives about 3 miles down the road from me. Moved him up here to help take care of him a little bit. And he's got an appointment tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Normally, I would take him to, but because of the weather situation for tomorrow, they're going to be giving him a ride from his place. They have a vehicle, and they're going to take him. So he's going to go, and he's an amputee because he had diabetes and stuff and some complications, but he's getting his leg adjusted for a waterproof one. He's getting a waterproof leg to help him out there. So anyway, let's get back on to normal things, shall we? Again, hey, I want to thank all the new subscribers here to the channel. We're doing very nice today, almost 50 new subscribers. It's a great thing to see folks join. If you're one of the 32 people out there right now watching, and if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, it'd be an honor and pleasure to be one of your subscribers. The reason why I ask if you could help us out there is because the way YouTube algorithm works when we do these live broadcasts, in order to maintain our viewership numbers, we have to have new people subscribing. We have to have people commenting and leaving thumbs up. So if you're don't subscribe, at least leave a thumbs up. It does help with the algorithm a little bit. But if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider. It'd be an honor and pleasure to be one of your sources in the YouTube universe. God knows there's enough of us out there to give you their 2 cents on the weather. So I'd just be happy to be one of mine. I do shorts updates for tropicals. They're like 1 minute little weather updates. I do a daily forecast regularly for the whole nation. So wherever you are in the country, wherever you're watching, you can kind of get a quick look-see, and just know that if you got any questions, I sell myself. My motto is your personal weatherman. So if you got any questions or anything related to this storm or anything in the future, I'm more than happy to answer your questions. All right, so we're looking at 7:37. So what happens from the Hurricane Center? Let me give you a little history of the Hurricane Center. They usually try to get that update out 5-10 minutes before the top of the hour. Most of the time in situations like this, they're a little bit late. The reason why I was doing my updates 5 minutes past the top of every hour is because I knew it takes them a little time to get up. When I started broadcasting at 5 o'clock, the maps were not ready. They waited a little bit. I did get the updated information, but they waited a little bit. So I had to do that to get in there and do it. So we'll see if they come in a little bit early. I'm going to keep checking on that. For those who have not seen, here is the last update from the Hurricane Center. This was as of the 4 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Eastern Time. At that time, this top sustained winds were 85 miles per hour. So we're getting ready to go into a Cat 2 here real soon. And what the Hurricane Center is expecting here from now until 5 in the morning is a form of rapid intensification of the storm, where they're anticipating the pressure, which has dropped off. The last pressure update had it down 3 millibars, and that was a little over an hour ago, about an hour and 15 minutes ago. And there's a flight out there right now. Is that the pressure is going to drop like crazy, and this thing is going to jump from 85 miles per hour as it is now at the 5 o'clock to by 5 o'clock tomorrow be up to 130 mile per hour winds. So they're expecting rapid intensification of the storm. And what wouldn't surprise me with this is it peak before landfall and maybe weaken a little bit. That's what I'm hoping it'll do. But it won't really matter because the full momentum is going to accelerate. Look how big of a jump it does from 1 p.m. on Thursday to 1 a.m. on Friday. That's a pretty good coverage area there. It's gonna move very rapidly. It's going to accelerate. Right now, it's only moving at about 12 miles per hour. But tomorrow, it's going to accelerate as it moves toward landfall. And the reason why that's important is because it's going to bring those hurricane force winds. And you notice the center of the hurricane plot there, very close to Columbus, not too far from there. And you can see that here on a radar Omega. And I'll switch over that so you can see that. And let me switch over to that, which is good since we got that going. But you see right here between Columbus and Americus, that 1 o'clock plot is showing 80 mile per hour winds, gust to 105 in southwest Georgia. So somebody's asking here on Facebook, asking if it would be bad in the morning for Opelika. No, not tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning you'll be fine. I think late going into tomorrow night when this thing is moving up, passing to your east. Opelika, of course, is over here. You're on the left side of the storm, so you're going to worry about tornadoes or anything, but you're going to have some gusty winds in the Auburn-Opelika area. I think 50 mile per hour winds wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for Opelika. So that's what's going to happen as this thing begins to make its landfall and moves inland here. Again, what's interesting is we got a couple of buoys in this area, and air temperature 82 degrees, wind speed, it's quiet there right now. This buoy offshore, not showing everything. Half these buoys don't work. Unfortunately, they've gone down over the years from different storms, so we can't get their data as effective as we like. Hey, you got the Crawfords here. What about Panama City, Florida? Are we okay? Panama City, here's the thing. All right, Panama City, you're going to have a wind blowing this way. So storm surge, not a problem. You're on the left side of the storm. Tornadoes, not a problem. Not going to be there. Are you going to have some heavy rains? Yeah, you're probably going to get some of that. Are you going to have some gusty winds? Yes, potentially. Remember, the tropical storm force winds, which are between 39 and 74 miles per hour, extend 250 miles. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit my mic there. Away from the center. So you're going to probably see for sure some tropical storm force winds of some kind there in Bay County. All right. So, but I don't believe it's going to be something that you guys can't deal with. I think you can deal with it pretty good. Okay. This is not Michael for you guys. If it was tracking further off toward the east, and that would be a different level. They have Brick Tamlin, which I'm still working on trying to get those right there. Welcome to the Brick Tamlin level. Yes, yeah, I need to start doing better monetization of that stuff, or at least doing some special products for you guys on those different levels. I'm still working on that. But yeah, Panama City, I think you're going to be okay. Okay. Not that you're not going to see. I'm not saying you're not going to see nothing. I know Chris Smith, my buddy there at Channel 7, would tell me that, but you're not on the right side. If this thing was making a track, say over here, if it was making landfall over this way, then Panama City, you're in big trouble because you're looking at a big storm surge and you're looking at being on the right side, the worst part of the storm. But you're on the left side, so you're not as going to be as bad there. You're so very welcome there. You're very welcome to the Crawfords. And thank you for subscribing to the channel, by the way. So again, we're 7:42. We're about 17 minutes from the top of the hour, getting ready for that 8 o'clock update from the Hurricane Center. I keep going back to the storm here, and I'll be honest with you. If this thing's going to be doing what the Hurricane Center's forecasting to do it, it's not showing me any indication that it's doing it that bad. At least not from a satellite perspective. I'm not seeing that there. Let me double check a couple things. I want to make sure that I'm not talking out of my backside. So I'm going to go refresh on this. Just want to double check and make sure I'm getting the latest imagery. Sometimes it can drop. Thank you for that new subscriber there. Oops, there it goes. It did update here. All right. Yeah. See, and you see what I'm talking about? It you can see it very clearly in there. You can see that very nicely in there. You see what I'm talking about? Look at that. See a little bit of dry air in there? There's some dry air that's still getting in there. Looks like to me. So we don't have a bright right cleanse over core over that center of circulation. As long as it's not getting there, it's not going to take off. I'm not saying it won't do it at some point overnight, but right now it's not doing it, which is good. Keep doing the praying, guys. Whoever's doing the praying, pray that this thing doesn't turn into the beast that it's thinking it'll be. Jennifer, good to see you there in Ladonia. Nice to see you there. And Jennifer Brooks says her son's in Panama City. Good that we're able to keep them safe. I think they're going to be fine in Panama City. Hopefully they don't have a lot of power outages. I don't think it'll be that bad. Apalachicola over there towards Cedar Key, that whole Gulf area there, that's going to be a different story. Okay, Whitney's asking about Columbus for the morning hours. Tomorrow morning, no. You're fine. Friday morning should be improving by that time. Okay, the overnight hours, Thursday night and the Friday night, that's when it's going to be the worst. Unfortunately, when it's dark outside, it's probably when it's going to be the windiest, the heaviest rain. All that's going to be coming in through the overnight hours. It's going to make for kind of a, stay inside, get some ice, have a cold one on some ice, wait for it to go on by and be done with it. Thank you for that new subscriber. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. 35 more to go, and we're to 4,500. Absolutely. Thank you there, Whitney. But, yeah, right now we're waiting to see what's going on with it. I'm going to go back here and check out the Hurricane Hunter again. Let me go check over here. Reloading the image here. Still showing pressure 975 millibars. That was the last one I saw, and the new one's still showing 975. And based off the satellite imagery, I don't see the drop sound on here. I think what they're probably going to do on the 8 o'clock advisory is that they're probably going to bring the winds up to about 90, because 975 millibars, and based off the flight level winds I'm seeing, I think 90 miles per hour, maybe 95, but I think 90, I think is probably what they're going to bring this up on the next one. We'll see here real short. We're getting really close. We're getting really close. So let me double check here. Let me go over to the, sometimes they do it early, but I'm just going to double check over here on the website real quick. Oh, there it is. Got it. All right. No, they did not change the winds. They did not change it. Did not change it. They did come in a little bit early, but the Hurricane aircraft are still out there. So let me get this updated here. Hot off the presses. That is there. There is the, yep, there it is. 7 o'clock. Let me double check that, turn that off. So here is your hot off the presses, your breaking news here. They're holding it at 85, still moving north at 12 miles per hour. Let me update this. I got to update this here. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so we got the latest here. It's got it all updated. So we're looking at 23.0 north, 86.6 west. Still moving north at 12, and they dropped the pressure 1 millibar officially to 974. So give you an idea, earlier today it was at 980. It's dropped 6 millibars, which has been steady, but not groundbreaking. Thank you for that new subscriber. Thank you for coming on board here. Thank you. Vicky Gray, BFFs in Tifton. And that is Katrina Blackman. Hey, welcome on board. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Vicky Gray, yeah, Tifton's going to get hit pretty good. They're going to get hit pretty well. That right side, they're going to be on the right side of the system, and probably going to have some hurricane gusts there into Tifton there, Vicky, or Jennifer. Your friend's Vicky. I got to read that right. Hello. All right. So, but again, this is continuing to move off toward north. Again, let me read the specifics on this. Public advisory, 7 o'clock. Any change? No changes to watches of warnings. Discussion. Let's see. Helene is expected to turn northwest and slow down over the Tennessee Valley. All right. 85. Hurricane force winds still only go 25 miles from the center. Tropical, wow, they really extend this thing out. Tropical storm force winds now extend 345 miles. It was like 265 last time I saw. 345 miles from the center of circulation. That is a big wind field. That's why the entire peninsula of Florida is under tropical storm warnings, because the tropical storm force winds extend 345 miles from the center of circulation. That is massive. That is a very, like I said, this is a large hurricane. Francine was a small one. The wind fields was pretty tight. This one's pretty big. The hurricane force winds are very, very tight, though, only about 25 miles from the center. And I think part of that reasoning is what we're seeing here. Let me go back to the radar satellite here. Is we still do not have a true, what we call a central dense overcast, or true core around where the thunderstorms are around that circulation of the storm. We don't have an eye. The eye functions as the internal heat engine of the storm. The winds come in at the surface, they go up through the middle, and then they evacuate out the top. When you get a clear eye and it's doing that circulation like that, that means it's evaporating the heat very efficiently. That's the word I was looking for. So efficiently doing that. We don't see that just yet. Will we see that by tomorrow morning? Based off what the Hurricane Center is saying that it will, because when you look here at the track, and this is, let me see if this is updated over here before I bring this up. Is that yep, that's the new one. Okay. So I want to show this. Let's go over here to the Radar Omega so I can kind of show you the tracks. So they're saying here they're still forecasting by 2 o'clock. It's 8. So in 6 hours, they're anticipating this thing to go from 85 mile per hour winds to 110 in the next 6 hours. Based off satellite imagery, that's going to have to change quickly for that to meet that criteria. Then, by the time we head toward 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, they're expecting this thing to be a Category 4 hurricane with winds up to 130 miles per hour. So things have got to get going here soon for this thing to meet that criteria. And then as it moves inland, by the time we go from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 2 o'clock in the morning, look at the distance this thing travels. It's going to be hauling butt at this point. And we're looking at landfall probably sometime around 8 o'clock or so, 7, 8 o'clock or so, right there, pretty close to Apalachicola. And that's why the storm chasers, and there's one still up there broadcasting. Let's see if he's broadcasting. And he is. He's there at the little west station out of their water. That's why they're all down there. They're all going to be down here near Carabel and hope to get in the center of this thing and watch the conditions go downhill. Francine was 100 mile per hour winds, and that was bad. But now we're going to see what happens when this thing gets to, when we're talking about 130 mile per hour winds. That's even a lot worse. When Francine went to one of the chasers, their back window, a piece of, when we were doing the broadcast, a piece of tree broke off and blew through his side window and punctured it right out. So we'll see how that works out there for these guys. Let's go back to the Key West radar here. And again, this is one of the outer bands here, coming up in through Miami and coming up toward Fort Lauderdale, and it'll be this right side again. We got to watch out for those tropical spin-ups and things here for the next several hours. So again, for those who are just joining, I want to go back here to the 8 o'clock advisory. If you're waiting for that 8 o'clock advisory, once again, we do have the new advisory. Pressure down slightly, only 1 millibar from the 5 o'clock advisory, but the winds are unchanged. And based off the satellite imagery that we've been looking for, that'll be the case. And yeah, Jennifer, you mentioned the Opal 95. That's the good comparison. I've been calling this Opal 2. The only difference is that this one, it could be potentially stronger than Opal was. It's also coming from a different angle through Georgia. And because of that turn there along the state line and that right front kind of sweeping that way, it's the worst case scenario for especially North Georgia, Atlanta, my area where I'm at. Devastating flooding, potential tornadoes, and the strong hurricane force winds going much further inland than what you would expect. Okay, so that's how it's going. So I do want to thank everybody here for tonight. I'm going to stay on here for another few more minutes. I want to watch this eye here a little bit here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I am going to be doing effective wall-to-wall coverage tomorrow. Starting at 8 o'clock in the morning is when I'm looking to get going. Let's see, we're getting a couple of warnings here. I bet this is probably out west. Man, another tornado warning up here. Wow. There have been tornado warnings with this dang cell up here in Virginia for a while. Tasmel, Blend, Mercer till 8:30. I haven't been able to find anything. Every time I've looked at this thing, yeah, there's something there. There it is, right there. A little tornado there spinning. Weak one, doesn't look all that strong. Not associated, blowing north to south. Not associated with a hurricane, though, folks. This is just out ahead of that cold front, unfortunately. But Yeah, I got to definitely pace myself for tomorrow. So if you'd like to get part of the notification on the live broadcast and everything, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe now. Hit that button, hit the notification bell so you kind of get on board here. And we will be doing live coverage again for tomorrow. Looking at the latest scan here coming from the radar here in Atlanta. Boy, it's just a rainy night in Georgia. Continues to rain outside my house. But we're going to stay on here for another 6 minutes here. We'll see if we get any changes. I want to see if we get another drop sound from the Hurricane Center is what I'm waiting on. I'm still waiting on that. Let me see here. See if that new one just came in or not. Spiral band. Oh, that's a new one. Yep, still holding 975. Flight level winds. That is the new one. Yep, pressure's holding its own. Pressure is holding its own right now. Because, again, when I'm looking at the infrared imagery, I am looking at when we're going to get that nice ball of thunderstorms right directly over the center of circulation. Just not seeing it. And what I keep seeing in here is I keep seeing either dry air or some sort of intrusion or something, and I see that right through here. I see a little bit in there. Get away, you stupid telestrator. Right through there, you see that dry, where you see the white going away, because the center of circulation looks like it's right about in here. But you don't see the core of these thunderstorms over the center of circulation. That's what you got to need for rapid intensification, and I'm just not seeing it right now. So what I'm going to predict here is at the 11 o'clock advisory, and I'm going to be in bed by then, would not be surprised if they backed off the strength forecast a little bit. Would not shock me. They say, okay, let's bring it back down to 125 maybe. Because the storm is not showing signs. It did briefly earlier, but I'm just not seeing any indications of a rapid intensification taking place yet. It could change overnight. I'm subject to that. I've seen it happen before. But they may back it off just a little bit. Because basically when it comes to hurricanes, it's how much time do we got and how much real estate do we got to cover? Because it's going to run out. Right now, it's moving into open Gulf waters. It's got very warm waters to go over. I showed this to you earlier. I'll show this to you again if you haven't seen this. Again, let me show that real quick here. The sea surface temperatures we're looking at, where it's sitting is sitting at about 30 degrees Celsius. So we're talking 85, 86 degree water temperature out there. So it's plenty warm. Even the Northern Gulf has rebounded. The Northern Gulf had cooled off a little bit, but over the last few days, it's been kind of hot and it's warmed back up a little bit along the Northern Gulf, sitting at about 29, 30 degrees Celsius. So between, say, 83 and 85 degrees. So it's plenty warm out there for this thing to feed off. But it may run out of real estate before it gets going. You're not going to die, Jennifer. Gen Xers never die. So anyway, so that's what we're doing here. Let me go back here to the, now I'm going to be, that's gone dark there. Can't see the beach no more. Beach has gone dead. Tampa's got lights though. Let's go back here to the regional satellite here. Golf here. So, yeah, don't see it happening there just yet. But Georgia's gotten a lot of rain already in advance of the storm. And what that means is that the trees are going to be, the ground's going to be saturated before the storm gets here, which means the pine trees are going to be more susceptible to falling over if some very gusty winds come through. That's what we're looking at, unfortunately, with this. So, all right, we're coming up on 8 o'clock here, folks. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning, the almost 700 people that tuned in for tonight's viewership. I will be back up and rolling again tomorrow. I would have stayed on here a little bit longer if I thought we were going to see some rapid intensification here on the storm, on the infrared imagery. I'm not seeing that right now. Could change overnight. It'll be interesting to see what kind of picture we have tomorrow morning. I will be back up 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we'll come up and come down throughout the day depending on how conditions are going. Tomorrow night, landfall will be happening probably around this time as we're looking at, and then we're going to see what happens as we go into the night. So again, I want to thank all the new subscribers. We added about 50 new subscribers today. That's great. We'll see if we can add some more tomorrow to the growing family here on the Weather Nerd channel. Until then, we're going to wrap things up here on your 8 o'clock. You guys take it easy. Be good. Stay safe. Be prepared if you're in Georgia for tomorrow. Pray that this thing does not rapidly intensify and become as strong as predicted. Let's hope not for 130. Let's say 115. It's still bad, but we just don't want it to get as bad as it could possibly be, okay? All right, that's it for tonight. You guys take it easy, be good, stay, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye.